What's up, everyone? Eli here, waiting for Tony. He might, if he's having some technical difficulties or not, but he'll be here, so don't worry. I'm just going to sit here and text him. Yeah, he'll be here. So, anyways, children of the metal movement, we are here to rank the, in my opinion, pretty amazing discography of Savatage. And we even have a wild card to throw in there. It should be pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Awesome. Let me bring Tony on.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? How's it going, man?
Not bad. I forgot to hit enter. I was like sitting there. I'm like, why isn't it working?
Well, your lighting looks way better than mine. Mine always sucks.
I was just fighting with my windows right above me.
Yeah, so was I. I'm like, none of it works. I just need to buy like some kind of cool light thing. I don't know. Something
Oh,
fancy.
dude, yeah, it's a pain. This natural light looks so good, but it's such a pain to make it not an absolute glare all the time.
Oh, no glare. It looks perfect.
Good. I had somebody tell me it looks like I have Vaseline smeared on my camera once.
You're like, oh, you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah,
I thought you were supposed to smear everything with Vaseline.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But this is pretty much it, dude. There's really nothing to this. I know you haven't. I almost find that funny. You've never done any kind of a live stream at all.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever even I don't think I've ever even been involved in a Zoom call.
They're so dumb. I hate it.
Yeah, my wife's done one in the couch here, but I've been around hey, and that's about it. I don't know how to get to it.
I didn't know you had a wife.
Oh yeah, I'm married.
Oh, cool. Right.
Oh yeah. Yep, I'm stuck now.
That would explain that. Did that happen recently, or it's been a while?
November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's still fresh.
Right on. Good
Absolutely.
For you, man. That's badass.
I appreciate it, man.
So yeah, this is really it. Can you see? I always forget what the guests can do. Can you see the chat on to the right?
I'm not.
You might have to add it. I can't remember.
How do I do that? I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, not show that StreamYard comment. Yeah, I can't. I know there's got to be a way because I think other people have done it, but it's okay. If you can't see it, I'll just let you know what people are saying.
Yeah, absolutely. If we have to.
So yeah, so we got 13 albums today. If anyone's counting, they might be like, that sounds a little high. We are including the Dungeons Are Calling EP because it's way too important to leave out.
Absolutely.
I think that's as important to their discography as any of their albums, really. And then I also decided to throw a wild card and include Beethoven's Last Night from Trans-Siberian Orchestra because to me is basically a Savatage album. It's the complete Savatage lineup, at least the modern lineup. And it sounds like a really bombastic Savatage album.
Yeah, it does. I never heard that before. You told me to go listen to that one. That thing's wild, dude.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, I was like, this is the most theatrical thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of operas or show tunes or whatever, but I do like theatrics. I am a sucker for drawn out theatrics and over the top type stuff. So
they really nail it, and it's not super corny. You watch something like on Netflix, like the Shrek the musical or something, and it's really really stupid. They do it really well.
Yeah, you would. I always same as you. I always avoided it because I was always like, I don't know. TSO kind of has. I mean, it's very popular, but it also has a reputation for being, over the top and maybe a little bit cheesy. But I think it's really fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's corny, but it's good corny, and that's what we do in metal, man.
Yeah, and they're passionate about it, and it's not a joke to those guys. It's like they love it. So
yeah,
I take it serious too. Yeah, that album is pretty easy to find. You could probably find it for like $3 at your record store or whatever.
Yeah, I was actually, when I'm out of here, I'm going to go write with one of my bands, and I was going to stop at the record store on the way there and check the T section in the used bin, see if they got the TSO for me to snag.
And they might even have like a holiday section. Sometimes stores put those there too. So
yeah, he's got a soundtrack and a holiday, and he runs he runs the best deal ever. It's 5 for $20 on used CDs.
What? All used?
All used, unless it's marked, it's like an import or something.
Yeah.
But I've been I've been scoring like aborted albums and just Impaler albums and just like kind of obscure metal stuff for like $4 a piece.
Oh, I'm jealous. That's so cool because that's like a lot of record stores get kind of greedy.
Yeah, 100%.
Not only do they want to charge higher prices, they want to be like the highest. They want to like whatever Discogs is, we're going to charge 20% more. And
yeah, it's like Discogs price plus shipping.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you guys doing?
I literally think that a lot of stores do that, or they just assume like, $20 for this CD, like an $8 CD. I don't get it. So
yeah, I don't get that, man. I just paid $60 for an Aglock LP at a record store. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I know. But when it's something you really want and you know it's rare, it's sometimes you just have to like, fuck it.
Yeah, I went back and got it because I was like, yeah, I don't want to drop $60 right now, but nah.
Yeah. But did you do that thing where you're like, well, I'll get it in like 4 days? Why not just buy it now then, you know?
Basically, yeah. I used to get allergy shots. I still do because I have pretty severe allergies. And the doctor's right by the record store. So I went in there, put it down, went to the doctor, and then came back on the way out.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
It was dangerous.
Yeah, let me know if you can't find that album though. If you can't, there's a store near me that probably has like 20 copies, so I can send one to you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll go take a look probably today.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I don't think like I told you, I don't have everything physically, but it doesn't matter. We're not really here to necessarily show anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a pretty strong discography. I don't think there's I don't think there's anything in it that's terrible. I think it's all listenable, you know. I mean, I'm talking at worst.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a little bit of stinkiness in some of it, but like even a low quality Savatage album is better than a lot of things.
Yeah,
at least
that's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, we got Hammerheart Metal Reviews says what's up, and he says that Tony sent you, but he can't stay for too long, but that's okay. We're probably not going to draw it out forever or anything, but you can always rewatch
it. Yeah, for sure. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people, I do that with live streams too. I'll just watch them like the next day and stuff.
Yeah, I've been working my way through the heavy metallurgy streams, like every video.
Yeah.
It's a process. When
you can't watch them all in one sitting, Oh,
dude, no.
Or even one.
Yeah.
But if they're cool, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't watch that. It's too long. Just break it up into sections,
Yeah, if you're sick of it, stop watching it and then watch it again later.
Nobody reads a book all in one sitting, you read it day by day, and I don't know. Whatever.
Exactly. It's not too much if you break it up at all.
No, not at all. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what you see your picks and everything.
Yeah, I'm excited to see yours too, because you don't hear people talk about the later albums like ever.
No, you don't. Mm-hmm. And I avoided those for the longest time, but like I've been listening to them more these last few days than I ever did, and I actually think there's some really good stuff in there. And people act like it's the worst music ever made.
Dude, they've never heard Five Finger Death Punch.
Well, that's for the better.
Yeah, probably not.
They shouldn't. So yeah, do you want to go? You want to go first? Go with your number 13.
Yeah, sure. So at number 13, I kind of forcibly had to put the TSO album just because of my lack of familiarity with it. Yeah. But based off of everything that I heard, I'm going to love it as soon as I get a hold of it. I love the theatrical nature. I love the dark, wintry, kind of Christmassy atmosphere every TSO album kind of has.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the suggestive blue album covers that they always have. But it has like a really cool somberness. And the concept of that album is amazing. It's
dark.
Heavy. Yeah, it's super heavy. It's super dark. Yeah. The music's not super heavy, but the concept really is.
Yeah, it's not a happy, cheery album at all.
No, it is not.
I mean, there is some, but it's mostly gloomy and bleak.
Yeah, I mean, from what I got of it, it kind of seems like the last night of Beethoven's life from listening to it. That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heavy topic, especially with the really good piano playing that John's doing as well. He really nails that neoclassical thing.
Totally. Really well. He's so talented.
Oh, dude, seriously, it's
Like,
amazing.
what can he not do? I don't know if he plays. I can't remember if he plays any guitar. I bet he probably does.
He does. He does. If
Okay.
you get some of the reissues of the Savatage albums, there's like acoustic versions of classic Savatage songs in the tail. There's I'll probably mention a couple of them as I go.
I need
But
to hear that.
It's weird. You'll get like the reissue of Streets, and there'll be a song from Handful of Rain done acoustic on the end.
Wow.
And I'm just like, what are they doing that for? But whatever.
Wow.
But they're really cool.
I got to hear that. So it's just like a several bonus tracks, or is it like an entire disc of?
Yeah, it's like on a bonus track. Like on my copy of Fight for the Rock, they have an acoustic version of This Is the Time, and then a bonus track that was recorded during the Hollow Mountain King session.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they just do like 2 songs at the end of each of these reissues.
Are they live? Are they live or in the studio?
They're both. I think the acoustic version is live.
Oh, okay.
And the Hollow Mountain King song is from this recording session.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any of the? I know you're not a huge vinyl guy like me. Do you have any of the those represses they just did like over the last couple of years?
No, I don't. I don't have any Savatage on vinyl.
I don't either. They look stellar though, and my buddy Chris has all of them, and they look fucking. I think they're all colored vinyl. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
they look super super good. I saw some guys showing. I think I saw like an ad for the Wake of Magellan. Yeah. And I think it's like white LP, which I think that's like my favorite vinyl color. I think that looks really good. That album.
I agree. I like the white too.
Absolutely. So, what was your number 13?
It's my number 13. Let's see. Oh yeah, I don't have a copy of this one. That's fine. I went for Fight for Rock. I always kind of just talk shit about this album, but listening to it yesterday, I mean, it's not a terrible album. It actually has some really good songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I like it more now than I ever did, but that's just saying, how much I think of the rest of the discography, because I couldn't possibly put anything under this. It's got it's some of the heavier songs like the opener, Fight for Rock. It's definitely got some cool metal songs, obviously. And John has said this in interviews. He's like, we don't want to play the same style all the time. He's like, I wish our fans would be easier on us for, letting us experiment a little. So I don't necessarily think it was an attempt to sell out or anything. I just think that they wanted to go with some of their other influences, just hard rock and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, dude. You can first off, it does kind of reek a little bit of label interference, I thought. But
yeah, and the production kind of sucks too.
Yeah, the production's really. It sounds like one of the early Helix albums,
It does.
Where it's got that really thin, late 70s production. And I don't know what the deal is with that choice, but it
doesn't make any sense.
No, I think it takes away from some of it.
And it came out on Atlantic Records, so it's a major label album.
You'd think that would be like one of the highest paying ones that they would have, right? Like one of the best budgets they'd ever get.
I think it was just an 80s thing. So some of the Dio albums sound pretty bad too. But not consistently bad. Do you ever notice that with some of the Dio albums? It'll be like, oh, this track's pretty good on production, and the next one will be like super raw and rough sounding. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I picked that up on Last in Line quite a bit.
Yes, Last in the Line is what I was thinking. That, and I think even the one after that. Holy Diver, I think sounds good.
Yeah, Holy Diver's pretty consistent. What's the one after Last in the Line?
It is it Dream Evil, or is it?
Yeah, Dream Evil.
I think it's Dream Evil, yeah.
The one where there's like the demon guy in the window and somebody's sleeping.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one. So yeah, I mean, I've always kind of talked shit about Fight for Rock, but after listening to it again yesterday, it's still, if I were to rate it or whatever, I would probably not give it more than a 5 or a 6 out of 10, but it's still not that bad. But
yeah, sure.
It's never going to be an album that I reach for. I might never listen to it again, just because I'd rather listen to the others,
That's understandable. It really is.
Yeah.
Do you like a lot of that sleazy, cheesy 80s hard rock?
I did when I was a kid, but I didn't hear all of it. I loved Motley Crue.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to a lot of other glam. I actually like Rat now more than I ever did. Yeah.
I'm about it. I love
it. Yeah. So I think I like some of that stuff more as I've gotten older even.
It's just fun, dude. It's it's mindless to me, which is part of the enjoyment in my book.
True. And some of those bands had, like really good songwriters and really good musicians sometimes too. So
yeah, absolutely. I saw the singer of Rat open for Ace Frehley.
Wow.
Dude, it was
what a
like
show.
It was a good time. Ace Frehley killed it. It was like pouring rain.
Wow.
But all the like drunk 50-year-old moms loving playing Round and Round. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah. I love that song. I think Round and Round is a great song.
Oh yeah, dude, so catchy. So catchy.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my number 13. It's you can go with your number 12.
All right. Sorry, I like to babble. I'm sure you
know
that.
That's fine, dude. there are no rules.
I like it. That's how it should
be. Rules. Yeah.
So my number 12 is going to be Handful of Rain. I struggled with this one a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I listened to this once in preparation for this video before last night, which I force-fed myself this.
Yep.
I have an absolute hatred for alternative rock.
Yeah.
And this just reeks of it. Yeah. Especially like Taunting Cobras. He's like rap yelling.
I don't like that song.
Dude, I'm like, am I listening to Godsmack right now?
That's the worst. But that's the worst song on the album, I think.
Yeah, that's rough, dude.
Yeah.
Handful of Rain, not huge on either. It's got that like the tough guy butt rock snarl to it, and it really sets me off.
I know, because Zach can really sing. I don't want to hear him like trying to sound like, what you said,
Exactly. It's because the guy, you'll see it on like his first couple records, dude. The guy nails it.
Yeah,
he's not as individual as John is, obviously, but he's a great singer, and he can hit those notes. But to see him devolve his vocal capability to play something like this it's almost a tragedy.
It is. No, I totally agree with you. It's like when I'm listening to that, I'm like, man, I just want to hear Zach sing.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear him do angry vocals.
No, and he's like constantly singing the entire album. He like suffocates the songs with him scream singing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a tough one, but nonetheless, dude, it's still Savatage. I'm gonna re-listen to it until I like it, probably.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I usually like if I play something, I'm like, I'm not into this. Unless I absolutely hate it, I'm always gonna come back to it like once a year or something and see.
Exactly. It's a good way to be because I don't want to dislike anything.
No, me either. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's fun. I have this really I love to listen to albums that I think are subpar because I love to try to find stuff I like about the album.
Exactly.
Kind of dig through it and sift out, the stuff I don't like. And
there's something good in everything to an extent.
Yeah.
And there's something entertaining about, whatever pop album you're listening to if you really dig deep enough to try and find something out.
It's true. Yeah, most albums will have some kind of deep cut that you're like, wow, there's some art going on here. It's not just face value stuff.
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you got up next?
Oh, oddly enough, Handful of Rain. So yeah, pretty much everything we just said. I kind of like the title track. It's kind of atmospheric a little bit, but it's a very bluesy album too. It's other than the alternative rock, it's bluesy, which I'm not a big blues fan, but whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Alex Skolnick from Testament plays on this.
Yeah, I heard that later on.
You wouldn't know it though.
No, you would not.
He's not playing his like neoclassical style. He's playing more of a bluesy style, and I don't really like it.
Yeah, I agree.
he's a top-notch guitarist.
He really is.
And also, one thing about this album is this was pretty much originally going to be a John Oliva solo album. He wrote
something about that.
Yeah, he wrote everything. He played drums on it. He played the drums on this album.
He played the drums on this?
Yeah, it's uncredited, so I'm not sure why. But he plays the drums on this one. I think
is he even pictured in this band photo?
Nope, he's not. He kind of had a weird phase where he would kind of step away from Savatage, but he would still write music, and it's like he was kind of like a what's his name from Immortal.
Demonez?
Yeah, he's like a demon as like he stepped away, but he's still like in the shadows. He still did stuff. Like he
Yeah.
was still part of the band. I think he was like, "This is my band. I'm never gonna let it go." But I don't really want to do anything right now, so I'll bring in some guys and let them play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it works out to an extent in some of the later records, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So like if I remember correctly, what is he? Does he sing a song or two on this? I
Did
maybe
he
not even a
sing
full.
Castles Burning?
I can't remember. I want to say he sings a song or two, and maybe not even a full song, but he makes some vocal appearances on this.
Yeah, I swear he definitely sang at least something on here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
He likes to do his little guest appearance thing.
Yes, and this is a really really bad period in his life because this was after his brother died.
Yeah, this is the first record after Chris died, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if he wrote the album out of like a label contract or maybe just trying to stay busy, but he was not doing well, at the time. He wasn't happy, obviously, and I think the album reflects that,
Mm-hmm.
but not in a good way. Sometimes tragedy happens and it makes a good album, but I think he was just uninspired,
Yeah, it sounds angry, but it sounds muted at the same time.
Exactly.
Which is a really, really weird texture for an album.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like you said, I'll listen to it again at some point. I'm not going to say never again, but yeah, like you said, it was a rough listen, and I didn't enjoy most of it.
Yeah, dude, it's a tough sell for sure.
Yeah, probably my least favorite of the Zach albums. Well, obviously.
Yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, that's my number 12.
That's a sick Sirens t-shirt too.
Yeah, I got this couple years back from King Fowley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doesn't he do like giveaways on Facebook or something like that?
I don't know. He used to. I wish he would do Instagram, but I don't think he's interested in that because I'd follow him like regularly back when I was on Facebook, and he would do t-shirt runs like once a month. He would do like a limited run of a shirt.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. He might still do it. I'm not sure. You might want to, if you're on Facebook, you might want to follow him.
Yeah, I barely ever go on Facebook, but I do have one.
Yeah,
but I'll give that guy a follow.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah, he is.
I'm so bad with comments, so I'm sorry, Pie Face. I'm sorry I haven't been. So let's see. Pie Face says so many people. Oh, you can see it. I put it up there on the.
Yes.
Yeah, so many people have shown these reissues to fill their Savatage. Yeah, discographies.
Yeah, some of this stuff has been out of print for probably since like what the first pressing.
Yeah. I only have Handful of Rain, Dead Winter Dead, and Hall of the Mountain King, all of which I played once and shelved them. Just put Dead Winter Dead on so it kind of fit in. Dude, don't sleep on Hall of the Mountain King though.
do not do that service to yourself.
Yeah, if you're not super into it, just give it time because you will be.
Oh yeah, you'll be walking around singing Strange Wings in no time, dude.
Dude, that song is so cool. Yeah.
Oh, dude. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I know it's so easy to like jump the gun. But yeah, so that's my number 12.
All right, so I'm at number 11 here with The Wake of Magellan. This one, I really do enjoy this album, but it feels like it never gets where it's trying to be going. It seems like it never visits its destination.
I would agree.
Songs like Welcome, or I think It Turns to Me. It sounds like it's gonna like build up into something heavy and then like turns into Billy Joel.
Yeah. Yeah. John likes to do that. John, I feel like he almost wants to be kind of like a singer-songwriter at times.
I really do think you're right, because he really he has some really cool ideas, like especially towards the end of all this era of the albums.
Yeah.
He's really slow and emotional piano songs.
Yes.
Which I like. I think that's a really, really cool texture to add to such an emotional roller coaster that is this era.
I agree.
But all in all, it's a good record. It's gonna get maybe played once a year.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't reach its goal, pretty much, is the main thing I could say about it. Hey, Kronos.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Oh, Kronos.
Yeah, he's always anytime I'm sitting on the ground.
He's a big cat. I never realized how big he was.
Oh yeah, he's a big old boy. He's like 13 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
And he's not even fat, which is cool.
Yeah, no, he's a big, solid. Yeah, one of those like alpha male cats.
He's definitely alpha male. Absolutely.
He's just big. He's a big baby.
He's a huge baby. Where's Louie at? Is he hanging out somewhere?
Oh, he has this new thing that he likes to do. He likes to sunbathe.
I like it.
Yeah, he likes to lay by the sliding door and let the sun just come in, and he'll lay right in front of it. And you go touch him, and he feels like he's in an oven or something.
He loves it.
He loves heat.
Loves it.
Yeah, he's not a winter dog.
No, it probably gets cold by you too. I'm sure he's not too into that.
We've had some cold. These last few days have been ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's brutal, dude. Hey, Brian.
What's up, Brian? Yeah, Brian's awesome.
Thanks, buddy. I paid $50 for this friggin' thing at the tour. I was livid.
Dude, I'd buy it for 50.
I couldn't leave without it.
Not happily, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I do the same.
Absolutely.
Dude, they were selling an Orchid shirt at an Opeth show.
Yeah, when I last saw them on the last run that they did through the U.S. with Mastodon, this one's actually just a long sleeve T-shirt.
Yeah,
which really made me extra angry that I paid $50 for it. But I had to do it, dude. Had to do it. They wanted $35 for the new CD.
For a CD?
Yeah, the new one, $35.
I wonder if that's a venue thing. I wonder if a venue made them like, hey, you need to jack up the prices so we can take a cut or something.
It definitely might have been, dude. I was seriously livid the entire time looking at prices.
Wow. Or just a really shitty management idea.
Yeah, it could have been. I think them and Mastodon have the same manager, if I remember right.
Okay. Damn, man.
Yeah.
That is the most expensive new release CD I've ever even heard of.
It was signed by the whole band. I guess that's their justification.
That's pretty cool. But I mean, they should sign stuff for free,
Right?
Yeah.
Not upcharge for it, or like do what Autopsy does and charge 20 instead of 15.
Yeah.
I'd pay for it.
So would I. Yeah. Yeah, Brian said it's well worth 50. I agree. I would have paid 50 for it.
Absolutely. Begrudgingly, but still doing it.
Yeah. It's like, think about it. If you didn't buy it, then you would just go home and just think about it, like.
Oh, yeah. I'd be searching the web store, paying 50 plus shipping.
Yeah. or 40 plus 10 for shipping or whatever. Like.
Exactly. It's the convenience impulse.
What's up, Rick? Rick, I don't know if I agree with you, but that's okay.
Maybe if we just put the animals in the screen.
Yeah, just hold them in front of you the whole time.
Yeah, that's the pair up, the dream team.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Was it my turn or yours? Like,
I don't know. We keep going off on tangents, so that's good enough. This is 11 Magellan for me.
That's right. It was you were going. Yeah. Well, it's funny because that's my number 11 as well.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I don't own it. It's kind of hard. This one and Poets and Mad Men kind of go back and forth for me. I sometimes I think I like this a little more, sometimes a little less. So today, a little less.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I would say it's nowhere near a bad album. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
They're definitely going for the prog metal thing, and they mostly succeed, but there's just too many areas where, like you said, the songs they just kind of go, but they never really take off, like some of the other albums do. It's it's similar to like, sort of similar to like Dead Winter Dead or even almost Streets, but it's just not anywhere near as cool as those.
No, definitely not.
And this album, let's see, this was the return of John on vocals. Zach's in there too, but John kind of came back, and I think he does most of the vocals.
Yeah, it's definitely at least half and half.
At least half and half. Yep, I'd agree. Yeah, which is kind of cool. I actually don't mind hearing both of them.
They complement each other well.
They do, yeah. And it would be cool. I'm surprised they don't do this more often. Or correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've ever heard a song where they both do vocals like at the same time.
I think they do sing harmony with each other.
Some harmonies, yeah.
Sorry, do you see my hands in the screen? Yeah. I had a buddy who wants to come into the chat, and I was telling where we are.
The bald and beard connection, Brian.
Oh man.
But yeah, so yeah, I think it's a pretty good album. I just think it just could be better. It was cool to hear John come back, and let's see, Al Pitrelli. I think the strongest spot I think here actually is Al Pitrelli guitar. Because that dude is just such a good player, and Chris Caffery's great too. But I have the thing for Al Petrelli's guitar playing.
What else is Al Petrelli in?
He was in Alice Cooper in like the 80s or 90s. He plays on a Megadeth album.
Really?
Just one.
Which one?
It's the one that has like the Return to Hangar 18. World Needs a Hero.
Oh, okay. I don't think I know that album.
I actually like it. It has some duds on there, but I think it has some sick songs. I think it has Megadeth's like strongest, most recent songs, if you ask me.
I'll have to check that out. I usually check out after Euthanasia.
Yeah, at least check it out. It has some duds, but I think personally, I think it has some really, really cool songs. So
yeah, I'll definitely get on that one, especially if this guy is playing on guitar. There's got to be something good, right?
Oh, he totally is good on the album. Yeah, again, even with that album, his playing's my favorite part of the Megadeth album too.
Good to know. Yeah, because I lost faith in Megadeth after a while.
Yeah, most people have.
Yeah, I appreciate your commitment to them though.
yeah. I decided to kind of like I didn't buy their newest album, even though I've heard it's pretty good. But...
yeah, I heard a million good things about it. I don't know. Dave's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way as a vocalist.
Yeah.
And, some like after Rust in Peace, it seems like the vocals are the focal point rather than the super cool speed metal riffs that he had going on.
Yeah.
But either way.
Which nobody really wants to hear Dave sing,
Exactly.
Like, people want to hear him play guitar. So
wasn't there one point where there's like 4 guys named Dave in the band at once?
I don't know. I thought there was just 2, just Ellefson and Mustaine. I
could have sworn they had another guitar player named Dave or something. I don't know. My buddies always called it Mega Dave because of that.
Well, I mean, it pretty much is. Yeah, it's almost like Megadeth is like a solo project at this point.
Yeah, just a revolving lineup, pretty much.
Yeah. Dave is in control of everything. He writes all the music. He chooses, who does what. And...
I like the commentary on our hat positions in the chat. It's funny. I like it.
But anyway, yes, that's my number 11. Decent album. I wanted to put it a little higher, but that's just I couldn't put it any higher. So
absolutely, I understand. I mean, it's a good record.
Yeah,
it definitely deserves some love, but it's definitely not good enough to beat out a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah, I would say especially for the people that are like really like into prog metal, I would think that would be an album they could at least probably get into, if people that are into Dream Theater and stuff like that.
Absolutely, I think for sure, especially like later Dream Theater. I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at number 10 now, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, my number 10 was bumped down to number 10 today. Edge of Thorns. Originally, this was like number 6.
Oh, shit.
But other things just kind of bumped it further back, and I really, really like this one. This is where I think the albums start getting into like Ripper territory.
Yeah.
Like those are good.
I was gonna say from here on are albums that you really, really like, probably for you.
Exactly. Yeah. This is one of the earliest ones that I heard, and actually, originally, I thought this was the one that had Alex Skolnick on it.
Oh, okay.
It was still Chris.
Yeah.
Which says something about the style because obviously both of them are held in such high regard. Could you imagine if those two had an album together?
Oh my god,
dude!
It would just be like a shred album. Which
it would be so good. Yngwie would be blushing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yngwie would be pissed.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh man, I gotta lay off the blow for a little while, maybe get something done."
Exactly.
But I really, really like the opening track, "Edge of Thorns."
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
It's a great way to start it off. It's hard hitting, but it's not stupid heavy.
Yeah.
It's as catchy as they come, too. I walk around the house singing it.
Oh,
He Carves His Stone. Great track. Lights Out is another really, really cool one.
Yeah.
The pretty much the whole beginning of the album is really, really cool. And then towards the end again, it starts lightening up until you get to like Damien.
Yeah.
Which, dude, this album is beyond catchy. Seriously.
It is.
That the Damien song is great. And then Sleep, another one of those slower tunes to end the record off with.
It's really cool though. I really like that song.
Absolutely. It's a really, really good track. This album is put together really well.
It is.
The trajectory of the track listing is really, really well placed.
It
the
is.
cat likes it too. He's always like this.
He likes attention.
Yes, he does. Him and the other one. But
have you ever seen the video, the Edge of Thorns video?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
It's really cool. Yeah, it shows them like they're like, you know, since they're from Florida, they're like playing in a swamp and stuff.
Yeah,
like swamp or Everglades or whatever you call it. That's pretty badass looking.
that sounds great. I got to check that out. I always forget they're from Florida.
Yeah.
They don't sound Floridian to me. I feel like they just like live in ice castles in the north or something.
Yeah. Wearing their pirate shirts and stuff, and
exactly whatever this hat's supposed to be.
It's like a witchy hat or like Stevie Ray Vaughan type cowboy thing or whatever.
Exactly.
That it looks cool on him. That's all that matters.
Exactly. What's up, Evan? My homie Evan and Resuscitates in the chat.
Sweet.
There's Noah there too. Yeah, Resuscitate's a cool band. They're like a metalcore-y kind of genty in between there. That's not usually my style, but Evan does a really good job writing the stuff.
Awesome. I'll have to check them out. They're from your town or your just general area?
Relatively. I live like north of the Chicago suburbs, and they're from down in the Chicago suburbs.
Oh, cool. Do you go to Chicago pretty often or?
Not much. I've been there once in the past year.
Yeah. I've heard it's a cool city, you know, yeah, for as far as big cities go. A lot of people have like a lot of love for that city.
Yeah, it's definitely like a town pride kind of city.
Yeah.
But the shows we get in Chicago are crazy. Like my bachelor party was going to see Autopsy. And that
they play at Reggie's.
Yeah, they played at Reggie's. I've played at Reggie's a couple of times too. The people treat you really well. The staff's really nice, except the load-in section for the band is like an 8x8 room, and it's 4 bands worth of gear.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so that's a headache. But Reggie's is a nice place. The Vic's a really cool place.
Pretty legendary venue. Because even I know about it, and I've never even been to Chicago. You know?
Yeah, for sure. It's a really cool place. I live even closer to Milwaukee than I do Chicago.
Oh shit! Yeah. I'd like to go to Milwaukee too.
Did you see the Metal Fest lineup?
Yeah.
It's looking pretty good.
It's tempting. I think I'm going to go to MDF next year, though.
Ooh, I haven't seen any of the lineup yet. It looks like it's probably going to be good, judging by.
It's a typical MDF lineup. Just a bunch of good bands that 90% of them are bands you like, and the other 10 are just probably still cool bands you haven't heard of.
Exactly, dude.
I just want to see Primordial.
Oh, that would be so good live.
Yeah, they don't play the US often at all.
No, they haven't toured the US since like 2006 or something like that.
Probably, yeah. It's just they've said it's just not worth it. It's so expensive to come here, and the US is not known for treating bands well, and you don't get paid well, you don't really get treated well. So it's like, for a band that's not American, why would they play here? Why would they want to? I mean, for exposure, I guess, but
yeah, the music culture in America is weird. I've noticed that. It's just like watching Europeans talk about music compared to other Americans talk about music. Yeah. It's a very different thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think you should always, if you're a venue owner, you should always like have some food ready, and
especially if you have a restaurant like Reggie's.
Yeah. Provide them like a shower, even if you have to let them go to your house. Like let them come use your bathroom and shower up and stuff. And
right? Like, I don't think Chris Reifert's going to be jacking stuff out of your kitchen. It's like, you just let the guy take shower.
Yeah. That's like, I've heard in Europe, you get like, you get better pay, paid better. You get like, you're guaranteed food pretty much at every show. And a lot of the time they'll let you crash somewhere, and, they try a little harder to like welcome you,
That should be for sure.
The U.S. is like, here's your money, get out of here.
You're lucky we let you in the first place.
Yeah, and it's even the money you get is crap, and unless you're a bigger band.
Pie face, you're right. Dead Winter Dead rips.
It is awesome. What's up, Roger? Good to see you, man.
What up, Roger? All right, so what do you got here?
Scott. Good to see you, Scott, as well. Yeah. So my number. Was it my turn or was it your turn?
I just finished talking about my number, whatever.
Oh yeah, you just talked about Edge of Thorns.
Yes.
I have no short-term memory.
It's all good.
My number 10 is going to be Poets and Madmen. It's this one for me is kind of, it doesn't sound really exactly like Magellan at all, actually, but for some reason they kind of battle for spots for me.
Yeah.
I might like Magellan a little more, but for now I don't. It's a pretty good album. It's kind of, I'd say it's more heavier and riff oriented than Magellan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little less proggy, but still pretty proggy. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't own this album and I've never really given it a ton of attention. It just hasn't. Yeah, I just haven't spent enough time with it. It probably deserves better than what I'm giving it, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. You got John Oliva on vocals again, and actually Zach was gone for this time period.
Was he entirely gone?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if he like quit or anything, but he's not on the album. I think Zach's I think he kind of comes and goes with Savatage. I think he almost has like a revolving door type thing.
It's such a weird concept for a band to me to do that.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, you almost never see a band where it's like their original singer comes and goes, their new singer comes and goes. But it's kind of cool because they're both. I love them both, so for me it's like a win-win.
Yeah, either way, you're getting a good delivery for the most part, unless it's a handful of rain.
Yeah, and most people are hard on Zach. I get it. Like John is awesome and he has so much character and stuff, but I have no problem listening to albums without John. Especially because I know he's there. I know he's writing songs and shit. So it's, I think it's important that John at least handles most of the songwriting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That if it wasn't John writing it, it's not Savatage for sure.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That would have definitely been a different band.
What's up, Jeff? Got Jeff in the house.
What up, Jeff?
I bet Jeff would have a lot to say about this band. Yeah, okay, yeah. He was doing TSO and John Oliva's Pain during this period. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
John Oliva's Pain is a pretty cool project as well.
I've never actually listened to any of that.
It's kind of like Savatage Part 2. It's good.
Man, the albums just keep coming out of the woodwork that sound like Savatage.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound exactly like Savatage, but it's still John, doing the John stuff. It's maybe a little bit more straight ahead, like heavy metal, maybe even a little bit heavier than Savatage.
Interesting.
I think. What would you say, Jeff? I think that's what I would say. I've only heard like two of the albums. Scott says Poets hasn't held up for me. Loved it at the time. They had an entire new singer for the tour that traded off with John. That's right. They had some guy who isn't who's not on any of the albums. I've never heard him, but I know they had a guy for a while that wasn't Zach or John.
Do you know his name?
No, and I'm sure that did not go over well with the fans either.
I assume not, considering I've never even heard that mentioned.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my number 10. I'm gonna go ahead and while you talk, I'm gonna find that singer.
For sure. So at number 9, I have Poets and Madmen. This one was another one that actually started off a lot higher up than it is now. I don't know. There's just something about this one that really, really clicked with me. Like the first time or two that I heard it. First off, I adore this album cover, the stupid glares.
Yeah.
Crap. That album cover is amazing.
I think it's one of their cooler covers.
Oh, absolutely. And I have no clue what the dragon and the moon's significance is, but if you put dragon on your album cover, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, same here.
But the whole thing is a really good, consistent atmosphere to it. And it's super, super dark. Like I'm listening to this and I have a relatively similar atmosphere of like mid-era King Diamond in mind. I don't know if you're picking up. Yeah, it's got that graveyard voodoo era darkness to it.
That's a good point.
Without having that heaviness like that King Diamond album does. There's also some like doom laden parts on this one. I don't know if you picked up on that. And I think it's like there is the Silence and maybe Morphine Child.
Yeah.
That's like heavy, big open space, big like power chord riffs all over those tracks, if I remember the track names right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a heavier album than some other what would come later.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the heaviest album that they did since. What do you think's the next heaviest one before this? Like Edge of Thorns, and that's not even that heavy.
Yeah, probably Edge of Thorns. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely kind of a return to form with some added pizzazz we've never gotten on any other Savatage release, I think.
That's true. I really need to get a copy of that so I can spend more time with it, because I was listening to it today, and like I said, I feel bad for putting it so low, because I was enjoying it quite a bit, but I think it's the album of theirs that I've heard the least.
Interesting.
And for no reason. Yeah, it's not like I've avoided it.
I'll keep an eye out in used bins for you, and if I find a copy, I'll send one your way.
Please, yeah. And Jeff, Jeff confirmed what I said. Yeah, he said the John Oliva's Pain is darker and heavier than most Savatage.
See, that's a very enticing proposition. I'm gonna have to get it.
It's worth, start with like his first album and just work your way down. I need to keep working at it because I've only heard, I think, the first two.
And yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
Scott says Damon Janea was the singer, and he said he actually did a pretty good job, which I guess why wouldn't he? You know what? John's not going to go pick some bum like to sing for. So yeah,
he's definitely not going to pull like John Bush out of the woodwork or something. And
yeah. John Bush would be pretty cool actually on Savatage.
I think he would fit pretty good on stuff like Handful of Rain. I think that might be his wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting contrast. I don't like any of the Anthrax he's on.
Dude, I love Sound of White Noise.
Really, dude? I gotta revisit that. I really do.
Love it. I don't like the others though too much.
What is the other one that they were on? Like,
there's like Volume 8, Stomp 442.
That's the one I'm thinking of too.
And we've come for you all. Yeah.
You all. I don't think I've heard We've Come for You All at all.
It's not that great.
I'll avoid it for now. I'll revisit Sound of White Noise eventually though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in a hurry to hear. But Sound of White Noise is my favorite Anthrax album actually.
Out of like More Than Among the Living and
personally, yeah.
Dude, that's incredible.
I know. It's weird. It's super weird, but yeah. So that's my number 10.
Oh yeah, I just did it as number 9, so it's your turn again.
Oh my god, I keep God, yeah.
It's all
my
good.
number 9. My number 9 is the one that I own and I couldn't freaking find. But it's a Dead Winter Dead.
Okay.
And yeah, I like this album a lot. I didn't really like it the first few times I heard it, but man, it's actually pretty awesome. It's basically the first Trans-Siberian Orchestra album.
Absolutely.
Unofficially, I guess you could say, but it's just so epic and bombastic. For fans of fans of prog metal, I think are probably into it. If not, they should probably check it out. People into like Symphony X and stuff, I think would dig the shit out of this. So
Symphony X is a good conclusion to draw with that one. That's definitely something that's similar style wise.
Yeah, I like Symphony X a lot too.
Yeah, they do some really good stuff, especially the Odyssey album.
Yeah, Odyssey's awesome.
Amazing record.
Yeah. So you got John sings on this album, but not only a little bit. You got mostly, Zach doing most of the vocals. John, probably writing the majority of the music. Chris Caffrey, Al Pitrelli. I think this might be Chris Caffrey's first album with the band. Let's see. Oh no, was he on Handful? No, he wasn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think this is Chris's first album with the band, and he's a killer guitarist.
Yeah, I mean, the guy really does hit it on the head. It's just, I guess maybe it's just a weird style sometimes that might make it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I got him and Al Pitrelli. They seem to make a really good guitar duo too. Those two guys. Like,
yeah, on Handful, it's just Alex Skolnick credited.
Yeah, which is funny because like I said, I really love Alex's playing, but I like his playing like more in Testament. But it's his playing to me, and I'm sure it's not his fault because I'm sure he played probably what they told him to play, but his playing is just really boring on that album.
Yeah, it's definitely he was definitely like a guest, like you do what I say or you're getting replaced kind of thing.
Yeah.
Have you heard his side project? I think it's his side project, Dragon Lord.
Yeah, I have 2 of the albums.
They're pretty good.
Oh, it's not Skolnick, it's Eric Peterson, the other guitarist.
You're right. I drew the technical conclusion, but that Dragon Lord record's still pretty good.
I dig it. Yeah, I need to get I think they have a 3rd album. I don't know if they have a 4th, but I have the first 2.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely worth visiting. It's real thrashy for symphonic black metal.
Yeah, you can totally tell that like they come from a thrash band.
Oh yeah, they're not subtle about it whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, if like people that like Dimmu Borgir and stuff, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. Jeff says he can't get into any of the Bush Anthrax. I get that. I think most people can't.
I'm in that camp too.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'll
And
try it. I'll give it another shot. I mean, I sat
yeah,
through Handful of Rain yesterday.
yeah, give it another shot. It's not a thrash album at all. You know, it's just like it's a metal album of some sort. Not
Mm-hmm.
it's not thrash, but it's not trying to be thrash. But I dig it. And yeah, Jeff says he agrees about Dead Winter Dead being the first TSO. Although Streets kind of, you could say Streets started that. You know.
Yeah, Streets is like the precursor to TSO for sure.
Yeah.
You could even argue Gutter Ballet if you really wanted to, but
yep, totally.
mm-hmm.
That's I think that's a thing I think they probably had wanted to do for a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure. That had to have been in John's pocket for a while.
Actually, probably John, but it was the idea of Paul O'Neill, their producer. I think he had a big part of TSO forming.
Really?
Yeah, that guy was pretty brilliant. Actually, he had a huge hand in a lot of Savatage going ons and stuff.
Yeah, I know that he made a lot of the concepts and helped with the lyrics.
Yeah,
but I didn't know it was that instrumental on TSO.
Yeah, he totally was. I believe, if I remember correctly, I think he funded it. I think he was like, "I'm going to give you guys the money to start this thing, and then you'll just pay me back." And it turned out to be pretty big. So he's a pretty smart dude. It sounded like he passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm sure that was a blow to the band as well, because they've already been struggling to like. Nobody ever knows what Savatage are doing, lately.
No, I mean, it's been 22 years since they put out an album.
Yeah, I guess they played like a couple shows in like 2015 or something, and then haven't done anything since.
Yeah, didn't John go up with Obituary and do like a tribute to Chris at some Florida metal festival?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I heard something about that. I don't really remember.
Yeah,
but I'd like to hear that Celtic Frost guitar tone playing Savatage riffs.
Dude, that would be cool.
It would be an interesting sound.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I'd have to hear it, I guess.
Yeah, right. So what are we at now? Number 8?
Number 8.
All right. So my number 8 is Fight for the Rock.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a sucker for this like sleazy 80s hard rock.
I knew you would. I figured you'd probably like this more than most people.
Yeah, especially with how much Poison Rat I show on occasion.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It hits the spot. I mean, I might have heard this album 10 times in my whole life. Yeah. And I put it on yesterday after not putting it on for a while. And I remembered most of the lyrics for the first like 4 or 5 tracks. And I'm like, I didn't even know I liked this album this much. How do I know all this?
I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's for if you look at it as like an 80s, like an early, like an 80s, like a glam metal album or something, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely got some pretty redeemable qualities beyond the fact that like it is. I've always kind of thought this reeked of label input and maybe a little cash grab, but their issues with Hard for Your Love. Oh wait, that's the wrong album I'm thinking of right there. That's the wrong track. That'll come out later. But this whole thing, I always thought kind of teetered on that mainstream status.
Totally.
And like we were talking about with the production earlier, I think that was a big disadvantage to this album. But the track, The Edge of Midnight, really, really cool album, I think. I really like the creepy keyboard introduction to the song.
I like that too.
Yeah. I was listening to this with my wife, and she was like, I feel like I'm in like a villain level in Donkey Kong. And now I can't stop thinking about that every time I hear the cheesy synth on here. That
is an interesting way to look at it.
She does that all the time. She's telling me like, this sounds like a video game.
Like it kind of does.
Yeah, it really does. The song Hide, though, that one. Do you remember that track much? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just listened to this yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's what you're saying earlier. Sorry, my bad. But Hide, that's a heavy track, dude. If that would have been on the one before it, Power of the Night, would have been absolutely fitting. and
I agree.
it has. I think if you will come at it as like, don't think about it as Savatage. Think about it as an '80s hard rock heavy metal album. You know,
Yeah.
like Snake,
Yeah.
whatever. I think it's more redeemable. But
I
I
think
do
so too.
understand why people dislike it, especially sandwiched between the really good albums that it's sandwiched between.
Yeah, it does still have some like it's some shades of Power of the Night, which is an awesome album. So
Mhm.
it still has plenty of that. You know, it's like Power of the Night with like some glam metal tracks, you know.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So I like it more now than I did before. I'll probably listen to it again at some point,
That's
especially
progress.
buy a cover or buy a copy. Yeah, Scott says that's his least favorite. That's where I have it, at least for now too. But it could move up, you know, if I did this in like 5 years, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty. All this is subject to change. I mean, Streets has been all over the place for me. A bunch
Same
of
here.
that.
I used to not like Streets either, but now I like it much more.
I agree entirely.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what do you got at your number 8 here?
Number 8. Let's see. I'm at Beethoven's Last Night.
Mhm.
Not that you can see it, but
I
it's
do a
there. I
little.
promise. I love this album. You know, I haven't listened to TSO for a long time, like you. I only got into them like I think a couple years ago because my buddy Chris, he was like, "Why have you never heard TSO?" Because him and I really love Savatage, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know, because they suck." And he's like, he's like, "No, they don't." He's like, "Go at least go listen to Beethoven's Last Night. You know, you might want to hear more after that, or you know." He said, even if you don't, you'll probably still like it because I'm a big like prog rock fan.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, he was right. Honestly, I think this is an amazing album.
Mhm.
You got like Zach Stevens. I wonder if he had to take like vocal lessons for this album because he's like going full opera, you know,
Yeah,
which is cool. And he's
that's
like
a good
he
question.
sounds like a natural, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I love this album. I bring it out at least once or twice a year, and I don't even listen to it around Christmas time. I just bring it out just because it's cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, they're like non-Christmas albums are really, really good, and they get ignored because everybody thinks they're just like a Christmas band.
I really want to see them live.
Oh, I bet it'd be amazing.
I've heard people say it's like the best concert they've ever seen.
Wow. Didn't like the last Christmas season, like a year or two ago, did you ever see the numbers that they pull in?
Yeah, I've heard they make a lot of money off
I
of
heard they're making
TSO.
like 9 figures in a Christmas season.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, no
people love
wonder
it.
they haven't made the Sabotage
It
record.
sells really well. Like tickets sell really well. People dig it. Old people love it. I don't know.
Yeah, they just do this when it gets heavy.
I've heard if you go to a TSO show, you see just old people everywhere. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's wild. Good for them. I'm glad to see them being successful. They've had a lot of crap happen in their years.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, you know, they made money from Savatage, but they didn't make a ton. I think they made way more off TSO than they ever did on from Savatage. So
Probably in like one tour of
yeah,
TSO. Yeah.
yeah, like you said, they deserve it. They've had some really rough goes. So
Yeah. I mean,
um,
having
I-
your brother die, main songwriter with you,
yeah,
that's hard to recover from.
yeah, especially. I mean, he literally died just out of nowhere because he got hit by a drunk driver. So it was like it's not like he was sick or anything. He just like he was here and then he was gone. You know, like just
Yeah.
a blink of an eye. So
That tragedy factor makes it that much worse.
I think personally, I think that's why John has like struggled really bad with drugs and stuff because I think he's just like fucked his head up so bad.
Yeah, I heard like something about Megadeth saying that that's like the only band that could keep up with their partying.
Yeah, I've seen that too, that's not a good thing.
No, it is not. So
That's
an
that's
impressive
not a that's
approach.
not even a compliment. You know, that's like a you need help type thing. You know.
Yeah, it's like the guys that are like, I could drink 30 beers in a night and barely even feel it. I'm like, you might have a problem, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that kind of a thing, I guess.
Yeah, and John, yeah, he to this day he still like parties pretty hard. He needs to stop. And
Does he? Oh,
he's gonna die early. I think he's gonna be one of those dudes like he's gonna die when he's 65 or whatever. So
that's crazy that he's
I
still.
know. Yeah,
Wow.
he needs to. Yeah, he needs to. I don't know. Last I heard about John, this was like a couple years ago. He like got arrested because he like wrecked his truck and he wrecked his truck and just was passed out. And when the police found him, he had like bottles of vodka. He had cocaine on him and stuff. And it's like, dude, grow up.
Yeah, dude. Like, what? You're not 27 anymore.
Yeah.
What is that?
So I don't know. I don't know if he's still in legal trouble from that or not. But I was kind of bummed when I read that. I'm like, shit, you know.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. Oh man.
But I think I don't know. I think subconsciously that's probably why he has this problem. Is just because humans just don't know how to address shit like that, you know.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's sad to see, but maybe he'll clean himself up eventually.
I hope so, or he's not going to live a long life. So
no, definitely not a prosperous one if he does make it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my number 8. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and see if TSO comes to anywhere near me this year, and I really want to go see them because like you're basically seeing, you know, half of Savatage, and yeah,
exactly.
Pretty cool.
Is Zach Stevens still involved?
Yes. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, gotta see it then. Gotta see.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with my number 7 here. Number 7, right?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
This is where Streets finally landed.
Yeah.
It was a little higher at some point, but when I first started this ranking, this was 0. This was worse than Handful of
Yeah.
This was literally my last one. And you know, it just every time I listen to it, it goes up.
Same here.
Every single time.
Same here.
It's so catchy, especially like that the riff in Jesus Saves it.
Yeah.
Whatever that time signature is that they're playing in.
Yeah.
Wild. But I really, really, really think this album, every time you visit it, it's going to get better for you. Believe, another one of those soft endings, just really emotional conclusion.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Sammy in Texas, cool.
Yeah.
A Little Too Far is a really, really cool song too, but Strange Reality might be one of the highlights, I think.
Yeah, I love A Little Too Far. It's just like John, I think, showing his love of the Beatles, you know?
That's an interesting way to look at it because I didn't pick up on that originally.
Yeah.
Interesting. Since I was talking about bonus tracks on this earlier, there's an acoustic version of This Isn't What We Meant at the end of this.
Oh, cool.
What is that? Dead Winter Dead, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Dead Winter Dead. It's really, really cool. So do you have a copy of this one?
No, I still need Streets.
Definitely would recommend getting the Digipack reissue from 2011 then.
Okay.
They're really, really cool. But yeah. Oh, Ghost in the Ruins. It's a great track. It's got such like a haunting melody to it.
Yeah. It's a cool concept album, definitely.
Yeah, this is like a really, really highbrow record.
Yeah.
And I think that was my main issue with it at first is it was above my pay grade, you know.
Yeah.
As somebody who's such a dweeb for, you know, 3-riff super raw black metal.
Yeah.
Coming into something like this, trying to love it is
so theatrical and stuff.
Yeah, seriously. Like this was a handful, and you know, I think it's only going to be up from here. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts hitting into my top 5 within the next year or two.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I think it's only a matter of time before it maybe even in like my top 3.
Really interesting.
Yeah. It's like you said, every time I listen to it, I like it more. It just keeps climbing.
Yeah, it's definitely a grower of an album. I feel
like it's a grower.
It's hard that I feel like it's a hard chance that this would ever hit you right away and just sweep you off your feet.
Unless all you listen to is like prog metal and stuff like that, then yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's definitely a good jump in point for prog fans if they don't know this band.
Yeah, I love the first song, that heavy. It's like super doomy and heavy. The opening track.
The title track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good record, man.
Yeah, it's very heavy. All right.
So what's your
hey Jeff, maybe you can interview John. Maybe you can try to interview John Oliva.
Yeah.
I'd try. Maybe it's worth a shot.
Why not?
So my number 7 is Edge of Thorns. I love this album. I think this is the first album I heard from them, either this or Hall of the Mountain King. But yeah, I have such a soft spot for this album that I think the title track's one of the best songs they ever wrote. And I think, like you said, near in the middle, it does kind of sag a little bit, but not too bad, and it finishes really strong. Like Damien, Miles Away, and Sleep and stuff. I think those are amazing songs too. But I go back to the title track all the time. At least like once every couple weeks, I'll just listen to the title track on repeat. It's just a perfect metal song.
Oh, dude, it really is.
But yeah, and you got to watch the music video for it. It's so cool.
Yeah,
It's got
I'll check that out.
It's like everything Florida swamp. There's like alligators swimming, and like there's all the different birds they have, and the Everglades, and I don't know. I've never been to a swamp, but it looks badass. So
I grew up in a swamp.
I know.
Yeah.
I've seen your pictures and stuff.
Yeah, it's not alligator swamp. It's Illinois flatland swamp, but it's not as cool without the alligators.
different type of swamp.
Mm-hmm. I guess more marsh-like.
Yeah, it does look swampy. I've seen the pictures. It definitely looks, it looks like a swamp.
It sure smells like a swamp too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's rough sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that Edge of Thorns video, man. That track is such like a fist pumping anthem.
Oh my god.
I'd love to see them at like play that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Totally. And Zach, I think it's Zach's best vocal performance too, just that song alone.
Yes, he still has a lot of cleanness in his voice.
Yeah.
Album, and he's not trying to go for that hard rock vocal yet.
Yeah. That's where he excels, It's like don't try to be like you don't need to try to be a Pantera, type singer. Like just he's so good at just being like an operatic, metal singer. So,
mm-hmm. It takes him from like his individualist style with that clean stuff, and then when he starts roughness, it gets lost in the mix.
Yeah. You're like, oh, cool. He sounds now like 500 other singers,
That's the thing that sucks, and it's a real disservice to himself and Savatage.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's his choice or if it was John or whatever. Like, oh, I want you to be more gritty, or I don't know, or maybe he's trying to sound more like John with a little grit, but not succeeding.
No, definitely not. But he's still good.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Jeff says, he'd be down, but John doesn't seem like he's too big on press these days. Oh, yeah, he's going to interview Caffrey though. Caffrey's cool. Yeah, Caffrey will give you a good interview because I've seen him on other channels and stuff, and he just seems like a cool guy.
That'd be a super awesome interview to get going.
Yeah. So hopefully that happens soon.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, that's my number 7.
Number 7. All right, so I'm at my number 6 here. We got Power of the Night at number 6 for me.
Oh,
dude, it's such a good record.
It is.
This is another grower for me. I was like indifferent to it for a while. I was like, oh yeah, it's a 1985 album. It sounds like 1985. It
does.
But the more that I listen to it, again, it's another one that just keeps climbing. It started off at like number 9.
Yeah.
But you get some songs that are on here that are nasty, dude. Like Heart for Love.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
There's so many like songs about like weird sexual songs.
Oh yeah, dude. I picked it up on Skull Session right away. I'm like, this is so not subtle. It's not even funny.
X-rated lesson.
So yeah, I get an explicit lyrics marker on here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, right.
I never noticed that. I have the tape.
Oh, for sure. This is this looks like it should be on tape with that album cover.
They're not that explicit, but they are funny.
Yeah, they're about as corny as they come, and I like that about it. You can tell they were jamming some Wasp or something.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not even subtle, but the fact that they got away with naming a song Necrophilia on records.
I heard that song that's probably where the explicit lyrics. I heard that song kind of got them in a little bit of trouble. As you can imagine.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, like it's one thing to be on on the Slayer album Necrophilia.
Yeah,
but
not a Atlantic Records.
No, dude, isn't it the same like labels Hall and Oates were on and stuff like that?
I think so.
Do you imagine this is in the same section?
I think they did that because I think they were like, all right, like you said, like Wasp and Motley Crue are doing this. We're gonna take it to we're gonna bring it like 500 notches above. Like you guys are talking about hot women. We're gonna talk about dead people.
Yeah, we're gonna make it awful.
Yeah, we're gonna make it way darker.
Yeah. The song. Have you heard that story about like the label wanting them to change Hard for Love into Hot for Love?
I think so.
Yeah, and then they like X-Nate doing a video for it and doing all kinds of stuff because they wouldn't change it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it's kind of crazy. That I bet that would have put them over the top into some commercial stuff.
Yeah,
on
they
MTV.
could have been playing next to like Van Halen and stuff like that probably.
Oh
It
yeah,
sounds like a Van Halen song actually.
it really does. It's too catchy. It's like not even funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
What I like about it is like it does kind of have some of the catchy rock stuff that like Fight for Rock had, but just done way better.
Exactly. Like I feel like Fight for the Rock wasn't that out of left field when you listen to this album.
Yeah.
They were definitely listening to some of that sleazy
Totally.
hair metal stuff.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder if that's the direction they were trying to go in. That would have been weird if they just turned into like a Motley Crue. Like,
That would have been odd. I feel like they're too good of playing of musicians to be a Motley Crue style band.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. That would have been a shame. So it wouldn't have been a good idea, but it could have easily happened. You know, like if they were more successful writing that kind of stuff, you know, labels tend to like trap bands into certain stuff. They could have like, yeah, we're gonna drop you unless you just write all songs that are like Hard for Love, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, there was some of that picking up or some of that kind of style in that album already. That sleazy AOR. So
yeah, it's in there for sure. But it's done to me. It's done way better than most bands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you got at 6 here?
My number 6. I let's see. I might do a quick switch. You ever do that? I'm gonna do a switch on the fly. I'm gonna do my number 6. Is gonna be Power of the Night. This old ass tape. Yeah, to me, this is for what it is. This is a perfect album. I was listening to it yesterday, and I was like, every time one of the more rocking songs came on, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to be in the mood for this. But every time one came on, I'm like, I actually really dig this. Like, I don't know, like there are songs on here that I shouldn't like, but they pull up everything. They pull everything off on this album so well.
Oh yeah, dude, they set their hooks in you real quick in this one.
Yeah, it's like every song, no matter what they're going for, they really achieve what they're going for. I mean, some of these songs are just super heavy metal. And then it's kind of like that mixed with like some glam rock, or glam metal or whatever. But I just think it's done better than, you know, Motley Crue or even bands like Wasp and stuff. I think they outdid, you know, the glam metal bands, made it way heavier. So I love the title track. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think the title track's one of the best songs, one of the best Savatage songs.
Really? Like in totality?
Like top 10 probably. I just love that heavy riff, and like I just love Chris's playing. I think he was such an underrated guitarist too.
Yeah, he really kills it for sure.
Yeah, he's like the Eddie Van Halen of heavy metal. Like, so tasteful. Like all Chris's like riffs and solos, every single one, everything he does is like it's just so tasteful. That's the only way I can think of describing it. Like it's skilled and like technical, but it's also simple and catchy. Like it's everything mixed into one. It's I don't know. I just feel like he was an underrated, probably one of my favorite like soloists of all time.
Yeah, dude, his licks and fills that he does in between verses and stuff are just so well placed.
Yeah, it's like everything he does is just right where it needs to be, you know. Not too much showing off, but yet when he does show off, it's awesome, you know. Like when he goes for those like Eddie Van Halen type solos, the tapping solos and stuff, it's like it's perfect.
Yeah, he kills it for sure. He's a wonderful blessing to the metal community.
Yeah, such a huge loss. I like to, or I try not to think about all the cool music we probably would have gotten if he'd have stayed alive, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely like something I've always thought about with him. Because, dude, could you imagine like what he would have done to? I mean, Handful of Rain wouldn't exist in its state.
That's true.
And
then it probably would have never happened.
No, I don't think TSO would have happened either. Maybe.
That's a good point. I'm not sure.
Like, I wonder if he would have been into that.
I don't know. I think maybe like since like I said, since I think Paul O'Neill had a big part in that, I think they respected Paul so much that I think he probably would have went along with it just out of respect for Paul.
Yeah, you might be right for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched any interviews or whatever, but like Paul actually saved their career. I think it was like what 2 or 3 albums in, the albums were selling okay, but they weren't selling because they're major label albums. So like when you're on a major label, you you get to write an album and release it, but you owe the money back to the label. You owe like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so
Yeah.
if you don't make a shitload of money really quick, like you're just buried in debt. So like I think they had 2 albums out, maybe even 3. And again, I think they were probably like gold records or something like that, but they weren't platinum. So they were like financially not doing that well. And they were about to quit. John was like, fuck this, this is just not worth it anymore. And he met Paul O'Neill, and Paul like really believed in them. And he's like, no, you're not going to quit. I want you to make another album. And they're like, what the fuck is the point? Like, we don't have any money. We're all sharing it. We're all living in the same apartment, sleeping on the floor. And so I guess Paul gave him a huge amount of money. He's like, well, here's some money. Go get yourself a place, go get yourself a studio. Here's some money to, you can live on for a while. Go write an album. Just go write another album. And it turned out to be pretty big. So like they might not have kept going without Paul saving their asses.
That's interesting. I didn't know any of that. Like I knew he had a big influence on the band themselves, but I didn't know that he was like literally the reason they continued making music.
He must have been a fan because he just believed in them. He's like, I know you guys are going to be okay. It's like, I know you can still have some good albums in you. So let's give it one more shot, and he did, or they did. And yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely right. Gas masks and hand grenades for sure. He's seriously the least sung heroes of the genre.
Yeah. I don't get it. To me, I almost put him on the level of like Andy LaRock from King Diamond. Like everything they do is just perfect. There's like no wasted notes or no, like they just can't fail in their playing.
Seriously, I think those 2 dudes, just like every time their nostrils breathe out air, it's just good riffs.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
It's just constant. It's amazing.
Pieface, I wouldn't blame you if you were to do that. I mean, but if you're curious, maybe give it one more listen just to see what happens. But
it's definitely a morbid curiosity, but it's worth the effort.
Yeah. I would say so too. Like when you listen to it, you're not like, well, that was a waste of time. You're just always like, it's almost a good album.
Yeah, it definitely. If there was some good tweaks, I think they would have really nailed it with that one. But it happened that way.
Yeah, it's a piece of history, right?
Definitely sounds like 1993.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Alrighty, so I got my number 5 here. We got Sirens at number 5. This guy started off at number 3 for me, which again, this is just constant changing, revolving door. And any day of the week, this could look completely different.
Yeah.
So that's the hard thing for that with this one. But so the opening track, Sirens, is one of my favorite Savatage tracks.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's such a good track. And the riff is this is like almost epic metal.
It almost is. Yeah.
It really has like tastes of that kind of Cirith Ungol, fist pumping, walking into an ice castle, like the second Conan movie kind of thing.
I can see that. That's a good point.
Yeah, A Rage is a really, really good track. I mean, they kind of start getting a little iffy towards maybe the mid part of the album, like songs like Twisted Little Sister.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm not huge on stuff like that.
It's kind of sleazy and kind of rocky a little bit. They hadn't quite figured out yet, I think, what they're going for.
Yeah, maybe. So you kind of think about it, like they have that influence almost the whole time. Yeah. Now that we've like kind of talked about it the whole time, there's been little bits of LA sleaze in there as it is.
Totally.
Which I never thought of about that until you just said that, because I never thought of that as sleazy.
Yeah.
I think it's because like the beginning couple tracks in this one have such a like epic heavy metal, fist pumper kind of feel.
It's hard to take. Yeah, after you've heard those first few songs, it's hard to hear. Yeah, the Twisted Little Sister. You're not in the mood for it at that point.
No, you're like, give me some more of that heaping helping of goodness you had there.
Exactly.
But I like that sleazy style. It just doesn't fit. It feels like this almost feels like a compilation to an extent.
Yeah, I'd agree.
With weird, some weird track listings and stuff like that. But as as far as it goes, dude, the top 5 in a Savatage ranking, these are 9 out of 10 albums at minimum. So
Totally, they are
for sure. So that's going to be my number 5 is Sirens.
Hell yeah! All right, my number 5 is going to be Streets. I was originally going to put it at number 6 just because I've actually, though I do really like this album, I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I don't own a copy. I think maybe in a couple years it might be like a top 3, but for now it's a 5. I did my switch on the fly. I was going to put Power of the Night before it just because I've listened to it so many more times.
Yeah.
But listening to Streets the other day, I just can't say the Power of the Night's a better album than Streets, so I had to switch it. I love concept albums. I love prog metal, and I'm such a sucker for even parts on the concept album where it's just like the character talking, like that. That doesn't even bother me. Like I love shit like that. I kind of think that Streets, I think, is kind of like their Operation Mindcrime.
Yeah, for sure.
That had to be intentional, but who knows?
What year was Mindcrime?
88.
Oh yeah, that was like a year before Streets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that definitely they had to have been tuning in. I would be surprised if they didn't know each other.
Oh, that's actually 3 years after. Yeah, 91 for Streets.
Oh wow, I thought Streets was.
So they had plenty of time to listen to Operation Mindcrime.
Study it up, right there.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it could be a coincidence because Savatage wanted to go in this direction already. So I guess I couldn't say that for sure, but that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Operation Mindcrime. I'm not saying that they were ripping off Queens of Right because they already did Gutter Ballet in '89, which not as concepty as Streets, but still they were already thinking. I think they had ideas, so
yeah. Gutter Ballet has a different atmosphere too.
Yeah, it's not as story driven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a full blown concept, isn't it?
I think so, or at least a loose concept. I think it is. I think you're right. I think it's a full concept album.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. There's so much to keep up with these albums and these lyrics.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, it's like a lot of like Rush has concept albums, but if you go to ask them about the concepts, they're like, dude, it's a loose concept. Like we didn't write a story. They're just songs that are kind of connected, But I'm not sure.
Speaking of, I know Rush is like one of your favorite bands, if not your favorite, right?
They are. They're topped or tied for my number 1 spot with Sabbath.
Okay, for sure. So I'm like trying to get into stuff past like Caress of Steel.
Oh, okay.
Because I adore the first album. Absolutely love it.
Nothing else really sounds like that. So
exactly, but
on their discography.
Yeah, they get crazier as it goes by, and I like Fly By Night, Caress of Steel. I do like 2112. But like the later stuff is like Spheres and like Hemisphere the thing to like get into, or what do you think?
Hemispheres is their most proggy album. It's their most complex and challenging album, but I love it. Have you ever heard Moving Pictures?
Is that the
Tom Sawyer? And
I've heard like tracks off of it. I don't think I've heard the album.
You've heard Tom Sawyer at least 1,000 times in your life.
Absolutely.
And it's got you've heard Limelight also. That's my favorite. My favorite is Moving Pictures. It's more concise. It's still proggy, but it's still still really heavy. It's like heavy, catchy, still kind of proggy. It's to me it's a 10 out of 10 album.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get on that one for sure. I'll do it in the used bin, and I'll probably just buy it based off your recommendation.
Yeah, you'll that should be real easy to find in the used copy because you see them everywhere. So
I think I might have it on tape now that you just said that. I'll check myself eventually.
Yeah, give it a listen.
Yeah, for sure. I'll revisit that, but I'm gonna get on my number 4 here.
Cool. While you talk there for a second, I'm just gonna go grab my coffee real quick.
That's fine.
Just talk. I'll be back literally in like 30 seconds.
I'll be here yammering. Don't worry.
Okay, cool.
All right. So my number 4 here is something that really, really kind of creeped up on me out of nowhere. I knew I liked this album, but I didn't know that I liked it this much. But it's Dead Winter Dead. This album is probably the biggest grower of an album on me I've ever had, because this one again went from like mediocrity and me not really digging it, but this one, dude, this one just really, really hit the spot when I got to it. Oh, that's a sick mug. But I'm just yammering about Dead Winter Dead here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do that to you. I just realized, like, man, I hate when people do that to me.
It's all good, because I was going to go take a leak once I was done with this turn anyway. So
okay.
We're even then. But
yeah, I had to coffee up.
I understand. Caffeine is a necessity. But this one here, dude, this one really, really just has captivated my entire imagination, and the whole atmospheric thing, and the concept itself is so cool.
I love it.
Hearing, this like war-torn love story in Eastern Europe, it's really, really something different. And it's really close to home, because I don't talk about it on the channel, because my grandparents met in a Nazi concentration camp.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's how they met each other.
What a place to meet.
Right. But so like hearing a story, not that extreme, but like of a similar ilk, especially in Slovakian countries or Slavic countries, it's just, I don't know, it really hit a soft spot for me.
Oh, yeah. It's an intense album in that matter, like it's very so somber real. And yeah,
it's so real. And this one, it has that blue hue to it.
Yeah,
a really, really good way to my heart. Are you synesthesiac like I am, or no?
What does that mean?
You associate everything in your life with colors, and based on the color that's associated with,
I think so,
you'll like it. Yeah, like you hear like the letter A and you immediately think of a color and stuff like that. I
don't do that.
There's different kinds of it, but either way,
I definitely associate like certain music with colors, though, because like when I listen to, say, an album, like an iconic album with a blue album cover, like I think of blue when I listen to it, or when I see the color blue, I think of the album. So
exactly, it's just like it's not a disorder; it's more like a neurological tendency. And blue is like one of the big ones for me, like blue and green.
I love blue.
Yeah, blue album covers are a good way to get me. And I like
another great cover too.
Dude, this is such a cool album cover.
It is. That could be their best.
I wouldn't call you wrong if you said it, for sure, because it's so good. But the split between songs, it's mostly Zach singing on this one. This is easily my favorite Zach Stevens album. But again, the songs John comes in on, triumph every time.
Awesome. Yeah. It's cool because like he's used so sparsely that when he comes on, you're like, yes,
Yes.
You're like, oh, thank you.
It's a little treat in the middle of something already delicious. It's like eating a cookie with chocolate chips in it. It's like, the cookie's good, but the chocolate chips make it.
And it's like the album didn't need him, but he brought it up with his presence,
Yeah. I mean, like his delivery on I Am, I don't think Zach could have pulled that off.
That's a good point.
That like he really has that like desperation in his voice of, basically I've always kind of like pictured a guy sitting in his car, like in Home Alone, where the two guys like looking at houses.
The wet bandits.
I basically like imagine like a mental patient escaped doing that, and that's what I think of what he's doing. I Am. He really
John's good at playing like this like psychotic character, especially with like his laughs and stuff. Like
he's so good at it. He really. The guy is an amazing talent, but
he is, and so original too. Like no one sounds like John, and he doesn't sound like anyone else.
Not even close. It's amazing. But like the song "This Is the Time" is such a good song. It's got that really anthemic power ballad thing to it.
Totally. I actually really love when they do like ballad type songs, which they don't do very often, but I think they could pull it off more.
Absolutely, but there's a couple of them on this album.
True.
Like,
this album kind of needed it.
It needs a somber atmosphere on this one for sure. But yeah, This Isn't What We Meant is another absolutely great ballady hard rockin' tune.
It is.
Then obviously the first TSO song or whatever, Christmas Eve, Saraveo 1224.
Yep,
is on here. Is that? Do you know if like the Radiohead is this recording or the one they did in the TSO album?
Nah, not sure.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
not sure either, to be honest.
I think it's this album, but I'm not 100%.
I mean, that's really awesome if that's the case.
Yeah.
Either way, it's well deserved because it's a really, really well done composition. It's densely atmospheric. It's beautiful. But
Yeah.
this is definitely my number 4.
It's an underrated Savatage album. Like you said, no one ever talks about it.
No, and if I do hear it, it's always like, it's okay. It's always
I don't really get this one.
Yeah, it's like, serious. Just try it again. I promise.
Yeah. I do get that if someone's like, I don't get it. But if people are like, oh, there's nothing, this album's not worth listening to, then you're just wrong, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's something redeemable about all these albums, even something as rough as Handful of Rain.
Yeah. That's one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older is like, just because I don't get something does not make it bad, you know?
No, by no means. By no means.
But I probably was that way at some point, but you know, not anymore. Luckily, I've kind of grown up a little bit.
I mean, we're all at least mentally like 15 here on YouTube. So
oh yeah. All right, so we got number 4. Put my coffee down. Number 4, we got Sirens. I have this kind of cool, it's a Sirens and Dungeons Are Calling compilation. So I don't know if you've ever seen this, and you're not going to see it well, but that's the original cover. It's like a bunch of elf children. Have you seen that?
Yeah, my copy has the same one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's just like the full photo. Sorry, you can barely see because of the glare.
It's a pretty cool cover. I'm not sure which cover do you like more, that one or the one on my shirt with the boat and stuff?
Oh man, that's a really good question because I like them both so much for different reasons.
Yeah, it's kind of like Fate's Warning did with their first album. They had like 2 or 3 different covers. So
I really like the original, like arts and crafts pencil drawing one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
that's the coolest one.
It's like some middle schooler drew it.
Absolutely, middle schooler. That's a great cover. I like that style.
Dude, I never realized this on the inside of the CD because I never really read into this, but like the lineup, you got John Oliva on Shrieks of Terror, Chris Oliva on Metal Axe, Steve Wackoltz on Barbaric Cannons, and Keith Collins, The Bottom End.
The bottom. I like that. That's what they give you. You're the bottom end.
And also a lot of these Savatage albums a lot of these were recorded at Morrisound Studios too.
Really?
In fact, this one was.
Wow.
Dude, some of the TSO stuff was recorded at Morrisound.
Wow.
Doesn't make any sense, huh?
No, I wouldn't. It doesn't have the Morrisound production by any means.
But I think that was before TSO got really big, and now they're probably like they can afford whatever studio they want.
They definitely could.
Yeah, the label will cover it. But yeah, so yeah, Sirens is awesome. Like, I don't have anything much to add to it other than, you know, pretty much what you said about it's amazing. It's a little uneven. I know people are not going to like to hear me say that. We both feel that way. It's got some songs I think that probably shouldn't have been on there. I would have replaced, you know, a couple of these songs with stuff more like the first, you know, 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd take Twisted Little Sister off, to be honest.
I think it would function better on something later on in the career.
Is there anything else on there that shouldn't be? I can't remember. Definitely Twisted Little Sister. I know there's at least one other, right?
I think Living for the Night is a little corny, and
that's the one.
On the Run might be a little bit corny, but not too bad.
That's true. But those first like 4 tracks are just 100% like 10 out of 10 perfect.
Absolutely. Brilliant part of their career. It's a great way to up to.
I know a lot of people are going to be bummed that we didn't put that in our top 3, but yeah, I wanted to. I really did.
It was my number 3.
Was it?
Yeah, Sirens was.
That's close. That's you know, close enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think number 5 is a pretty respectable position.
Pieface, I'm gonna have to read the 17 pages of write-up on this album. That's a good point. I might have to do that too in the booklet. Yeah. I've never read. I might have a different booklet. Mine looks pretty thin. I don't know. What do you got in yours? Mine. I don't even think mine has lyrics. No. Oh my god, dude! Wait till you see this. That's what's on the inside of mine.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
That's
like
so
they didn't even try.
Why even bother at that point?
I know. And this is a Combat Relativity Records release.
Huh.
So cool. This is 1988 when this one came out.
Oh, is that the? Yeah, okay, for sure.
1988 repress. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is the only one that I have.
Oh,
This
okay.
is all that is in the inside of mine.
Damn.
So I don't. I would love to know what's in that 17 pages.
I'm guessing lyrics and maybe some stories, some like liner notes.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I know John likes to put like his like a quote on the top of here.
Yeah.
But it's I bet there's some expansive material in the book.
I'd read that in a heartbeat. Damn.
Definitely worth putting it on while you're jamming the record.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for a repress. If I ever see it, I'm gonna snag it just for the booklet, basically.
Yeah, definitely do so. All right, so we're on our top 3 now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's getting intense.
Oh, it is. Definitely. So my number 3 is Gutter Ballet.
Hell yeah.
Again, this is another grower for me.
Same here.
It really sat at the tail end for a while. I think this was at 7 for a while.
Yeah.
But you open it up with a Rage and War. I mean, come on. That could have definitely been on Hall of the Mountain King.
Yeah.
And I would have believed that one.
I would too.
And again, with the unhinged vocals that John is doing, they're all over this one.
Yeah, very theatrical.
Yeah, he's seriously such an amazing talent on that, and it really makes this band. Beyond the fact Chris is a brilliant guitar player.
Yeah.
John,
a unique guitarist and a unique singer. You know,
it must be something in their blood, man. It's got to be.
Talented ass family.
I would love to know with like what like was their parents are professional musicians or anything like that. But
I would imagine they probably came from a musical family. I mean, that's almost always how that kind of shit goes.
Yeah, they were probably like playing piano at like preschool age and stuff like that.
I'd be willing to. I'd put money on it.
Oh yeah, 100%. But there's Rage and War, and then you go into the title track, Gutter Ballet, another top tier Savatage track.
Great song.
It's so catchy. It's heavy. It's atmospheric. I really like the song Silk and Steel, the instrumental interlude.
Yeah, I like it.
When the crowds are gone and she's in love. It's I don't know. It just really sets the mood for She's in Love. It kind of tones it down a bit. And
dude, does your copy on the back say explicit lyrics again?
On Gutter Ballet?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't remember there being explicit lyrics on this.
No, not at all.
Okay.
This is a Digipack reissue from 2011.
Okay, yeah, I guess by 2011 they're like, all right, we don't need to keep saying that shit. Like, yeah, I guess we got to remember, 80s and 90s were the time of censorship, and yeah,
it's a weird concept to me. With you see some of these brutal death metal bands getting away with what they do.
Yeah, that
like
wouldn't have
in their album covers.
That would not have flown in the 80s.
Oh, dude, yeah. Have you seen like the Syphilic album covers and stuff like that?
I don't know if I have. I'm sure I've seen something like it.
They're despicable.
Some of them are too much.
Yeah, absolutely. They get to be a whole lot. But Mentally Yours is another really, really good track off this one.
I like it.
The riff, that's super catchy.
It is. It's
and I hear a lot of people dislike Thorazine Shuffle.
Oh, I love it.
It's a great song. Absolutely awesome.
It's got one of the best riffs on the album, I think.
Yeah.
It's heavy too. It's a heavy ass song.
It seriously is. It really, really is a different contrast. This is like their last really, really heavy ender on any of their albums.
Yeah. And apparently it's a bonus track. I forgot about that.
Is it?
Yeah. On my copy it says bonus track.
Interesting. See, mine's
just kind of got rid of it after that. I think it just became part of the album, really.
That's basically what mine is just listed on there.
Yeah.
As one of those. And
I wonder if the band was like, hey, let's just drop the bonus track and this is part of the album,
I think that makes sense. I mean, it's a great ending to the album. Summer's Rain is a great track.
Yeah.
But that would be another one of the light endings.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. But also this one has an acoustic version of Handful of Rain.
Oh, I need to hear that.
It's so good.
Because I actually kind of do like that song.
It's a good song. It's just I don't like the delivery on that album.
No, I don't either.
It really breathes, and some of like the acoustic stuff is really weird. So be ready for that if you go and listen to him.
It's weird.
It's weird. He has it sounds like a soft rock band playing Savatage stuff. It's like you stuck like America playing Savatage tracks. It's really, really weird.
Oh, I'm glad I'm prepared now.
Yeah, it's worth listening to. But there's some weird grooves in there. Anyway, but this is definitely number 3. Gutter Ballet Rules.
Yeah, well, it's my number 3 as well.
Well placed.
I didn't think we'd match as much, but that's funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this album is a legitimate masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
I really love track 4, When the Crowds Are Gone. That's probably my favorite here.
Mm-hmm.
That is like their ballady epic. The lyrics, though, dude, I anyone who hasn't read the lyrics to that song, I recommend at least just going and reading the lyrics to that song.
Yeah,
fantastic lyrics. I've quoted them. I've ripped them off at times just for like inspirational quotes. Like they're super awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing you did about Thorazine Shuffle. I'm not sure what it is that people don't like about it.
I have no idea, dude. It
Like,
really
it's
doesn't
super
make
heavy. It's so heavy and catchy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what the problem was, but I think it's one of the better songs on here in its own way.
Yeah, for sure. And it's got John doing that like really high shriek for the chorus.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good, dude.
When you first heard John's voice, did you like his voice right away, or were you kind of like thrown off a little bit?
Surprisingly, I loved it right away.
Oh, okay. I had to, his voice had to grow on me when I first heard it, because I got into Savatage because I like Chris's guitar playing, and I was like, I don't like the singer though. They have a terrible singer. And now I'm like, dude, he's fucking amazing. Like, there's nothing terrible at all. Like, he's not conventional. Nobody's gonna put him next to like Jeff Tate or like Rob Halford or whatever, but he's just as great in his own way though. Like,
yeah,
singers don't have to be all about technical skill. Like, he has so much character.
Seriously,
he's all character. Like, he's just, and so much like personality, and no one has a voice like he does.
It's so real. That's what's so cool about
it. Yeah. It's like he's not trying to dazzle you, with like, oh, look what I can do. A la Jeff Tate,
Yeah. Or any of those kind of guys. A lot of guys are just trying to show off if they
can. And I appreciate it because I like it, but yeah, it's like John's never been about that. Have you ever heard the, obviously I don't own a copy, but have you ever heard the Avatar demo that they did before?
I don't think I've heard of it. I've seen like people showing it in videos, but I've never heard it.
Yeah, check it out. Like, go listen to it online or download it or something, because I don't know if I know they've made copies, but I think they're really sparsely. You're probably not ever going to see one around, but it's really cool. They're pretty much all Savatage songs. I don't know if any of the Avatar songs didn't turn into Savatage songs, but they're really cool to hear.
Yeah, I mean, what was that, like a 1981-2 demo? Something like that?
Yeah, it was, let's see, 83.
83, okay.
So they went into Savatage really quickly.
Yeah, I know that, like, I know that there's like a really rare copy of that Avatar demo too. Like, the LP sells for hundreds of dollars, or not even LP, it's just the 7-inch.
Oh, dude, at least it might go for more than that even.
Yeah, I would be afraid to check Discogs if I really wanted to buy it or something.
I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah,
because then it's just going to bother me, and like, I really want this. Maybe I can buy it. I don't need to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need my right kidney. I'll just buy that.
Yeah. So it looks like, oh man, I thought they made a repressing. It looks like the only thing that there is other than the original is a 1990 bootleg.
Bootleggers are always there for us.
But that was back in 90. I mean, wow. So this thing's probably near impossible to find. And this is the EP. They also have a demo in the same year. Now this demo, these are all Savatage songs too. No, this demo is not going to be available. This is like a self-made tape.
Oh wow.
But I would love to have the 7-inch EP.
Yeah, if they just like release that on like a single-sided LP or something,
yeah,
buy that up like
nothing. Dude, I'm pretty sure what's his name? Not Marty, but the other guy has it.
Alan? I'm
pretty sure Alan fucking has it.
Dude, of course he does. That guy's collection is incredible.
It is. He's like top 5%, of collectors.
Dude, seriously, between like him and Ken and the Metal Theologian,
Yeah.
those guys have the craziest old school like new wave heavy British heavy metal
Dude,
collection.
Alan could probably buy a house if he sold all his records.
Yeah, absolutely. A nice house too, like
yeah,
or something.
that's the
Yeah,
thing about metal is like there are people out there that willing to pay these prices for some of these rare, these rare demos and stuff.
dude, I just couldn't imagine dropping a G on like literally anything.
No. Like if he were to put this EP on Discogs, I bet you it'd sell within the hour.
Oh yeah, I bet there's guys that check it like hourly, just waiting for a copy to show up.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Amazing.
But yeah, Gutter Ballet, man, I'm gonna probably go listen to this today because I haven't heard it in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. But
yeah,
this was like you said, it was another grower for me. I didn't love it right away,
mm-hmm.
So that was my number 3.
Good call. So my number 2 here is The Dungeons Are Calling. This is the Sirens double edition, just like yours is, except
I really like the way that looks.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. I took the plastic sleeve off so you could actually see it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it how it's full center and
yeah, kind of like it's just the standalone release.
What label put that out?
This is out on who put this out? Earmusic.net.
I think I've heard of that.
I think it's earmusic.net. They did all of these, all of my digipack reissues.
So they licensed them from whatever or not Atlantic, but was it Combat? I think it was Combat or Relativity Records.
Was it them who had them originally? I don't remember, to be honest.
I don't know who owns the licenses at this point to these things. Some of these labels aren't even around anymore.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm sure even people who ran the labels probably aren't even alive at this point. I mean, that's 4 years ago.
Originally, it was Par Records. I don't know much about Par Records.
That's obscure for sure. I have no idea.
I wonder who owns the rights.
That's a good question. But whoever does, they got a good chunk of change for these reissues. But dude, The Dungeons Are Calling is great. Seriously one of the greatest moments in American metal history.
Probably top 5 EPs of all time in heavy metal,
Oh, dude, absolutely. I don't think there's any way around it. This and like the Nuns Have No Fun EP, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. That's where I place it as well, right next. And the Queensryche EP.
Dude, I've been trying. So I almost bought a copy of that recently, and I put it back, and I didn't buy it. And I haven't.
Don't do that.
I kick myself in the butt for it all the time.
I'll keep an eye out for you too. They turn up here every now and then. So
my one of my local record stores had a copy of that.
Yeah.
On LP for $20.
I have a vinyl version. Yeah, mine's beat to shit, but whatever.
Yeah, so is his. I think that's just how they come now.
It's 40 years old.
Yeah, but I think it got destroyed in a flood they just had. So that
at the record store?
Yeah, their ceiling, the pipes in the ceiling bursted.
Oh, dude.
They're doing like fundraisers right now. It's depressing.
Oh no, that is sad.
I don't even. Did you see
like everything ruined pretty much, or
they lost thousands of dollars in inventory?
Oh no.
Yeah, did you see like a couple vinyl updates ago? I showed some first press thrash records.
Yeah.
I picked them up from there, and dude, he has
that's right.
His first press Scream Bloody Gore, all this stuff. And dude, I'm super worried that happened.
And a lot of these like record stores, they're already not doing that well. Like they can't survive a catastrophe like that.
No, not without serious support and donations and help, which I'm sure they hate begging for money.
Yeah, like anyone would,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, back to the Dungeons Are Calling. The song that really sold me on that one is By the Grace of the Witch.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So good. This is a super, super dismal and dark atmosphere quality to this whole album. It has, I kind of thought about, suggestive mindset of dungeons, more like questing, nerdy, epic metal stuff. It has that atmosphere, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's not so high fantasy. Isn't this a whole concept about drug use?
Yeah. That's why the cover that, and I didn't know this for the longest time, but that cover that I never knew what that thing was that's in the eye and the skull, but that's an old fashioned syringe.
Is it?
Yeah. That's a syringe from back in the day. Like I don't know, 1800s or early 1900s or some shit.
That's like unrecognizable for us now.
Yeah, I did, for the longest time. Did you ever wonder what that was?
Yeah, I had no idea what that was. I thought it was something like that.
Yeah, I think I only learned that in the last like year.
Oh, really? Yeah, it looks funny, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like, what's it doing in the eye?
Yeah,
The eye socket. I mean,
But,
I don't know if there's anything you shoot up in your eyeball, but I don't want that drug.
no, I tend to avoid that one if possible.
Yeah. I'll let you guys play around with that one. I'll pass. I'll stick to my coffee.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the dungeons are calling. It really captures the darkness I like out of Savatage.
Yes.
That craziness that John has, everything you like about it, and I think it flows a lot better than Sirens.
I was gonna say there's no filler on it.
No, not one single bit. The whole record's great. The whip. You think the whip has a little bit of that sleaziness to it?
Maybe a little, yeah, but it's still they pull it off. It doesn't seem out of place.
No, it really, really does fit in well, and I think that's one of the best parts about that is the 5-track flow or 6-track flow, excuse me, of that EP. It's just absolutely perfect, and gotta love it. So that's gonna be my number 2.
Yeah, oddly enough, that's my number 2 as well. I have this CD copy repressing. It's a Metal Blade repress from 80 something. I can't really. It's so scratched up. 85 maybe. No. When did this come out?
I think it came out in 84.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is an 85 repress. So it has. Let's see. I'm not. What does it have? Okay, let me see. How many tracks does your version have?
I have 6 tracks.
Okay, so yeah, this has 8 tracks, which is cool. It's got "Fighting for Your Love," and it's got "Sirens Live."
I don't have "Fighting for Your Love."
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe this is an 84. I thought it was an 85. I think this is an 84 repress actually. But yeah, either way, yeah, "Fighting for Your Love" and "Sirens Live." So it's cool to get a little bit extra. Yeah, everything that you just said. I mean, oh, this is not 85. I'm sorry. This is a 94 repress. And so this is actually really cool because it's got a little tribute to Chris.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm covering it up, but yeah, Chris Oliva.
Yeah.
So yeah, 94 repress. Yeah, everything that you just said. This is just, I put this so high up. This is one of my favorite EPs of all time. Again, I put this next to Nuns Have No Fun. I put this next to the Queensryche, EP. Actually, to be honest, those were always like a trilogy for me, unrelated, but I always put those 3 next to each other because they're all such similar quality.
Yeah, they're just the top tier.
Top tier, yeah,
right.
Yeah. Bands in their younger days, but like strong. I would say probably my favorite track, probably the title track on this. Yeah, it's like it kind of epic metal. I think you said that it's got that. It's not super drawn out or anything, but it's very epic to me.
It really is. It has a great atmosphere with that.
Yeah, for the longest time, this was actually my favorite thing that they ever did. Obviously, it's not far off.
No, it's definitely holding its own against everything.
But I never get tired of it. I pull this out at least a couple times a year, and I never forget about it. It's never long. I never go too long without listening to it, and it's always in my mind. It's always like, every time I think about Savatage, that's one of the top. I'm almost, and since it's an EP and it's short, I almost always play that, and then I play an album right after it. So
it's like 25 minutes long. It's a great shot right to the vein, and you get everything.
Yeah, it could have been my number 1, but just for its shortness, I had to put it at number 2.
We all know where number 1's going to land. I mean,
yeah, like I said, I'm surprised that we're so. I didn't think our picks would be so close.
Neither did I. I mean, I definitely kind of had a hunch that "Fight for the Rock" wasn't going to be as high on your list as mine.
Yeah. I knew that too.
But I think that's just a me thing because I think I'm like one of 10 people who actually likes that album.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, even my buddy Chris, who's a diehard Savatage fan, he's not a big fan of "Fight for Your Rock" at all. And which is funny because he likes the sleazy glam stuff, but
interesting.
So that doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. Maybe he'll revisit it, and maybe he'll wind up liking it more eventually.
I couldn't see it. Yeah, I couldn't see it otherwise. But I wonder what your number one is.
Who knows?
Let me guess. Handful of Rain.
Yeah. I only like the Christmas TSO albums. Actually,
you were. Yeah. I'm actually gonna check some more of those out because I've only ever heard the one we talked about today. I haven't heard any of the others.
Oh, dude, check out like Castle Night or whatever it is.
Yeah, I remember you told me about it. Yeah,
it's a really, really good album.
Cool.
It's one of those albums that's like 40 tracks long almost or whatever.
But like 1 minute songs and stuff. Yeah.
It's like the Diabolical Masquerade later thing.
Oh, I love that.
Just like, dude, I'm trying with that one. That one's hard for me.
Yeah, the Death's Head or whatever.
Yeah, I can see
this. I guess it's a. Did you ever hear the story about it? It was supposed to be a soundtrack.
Really?
To like a movie or something that never happened.
So like, were they producing a movie and then the movie never happened, or was it?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Either the movie never happened or they never ended up using it for the movie. One of the two. But yeah, it's essentially a soundtrack. So that might make you feel a little better about why it's weird and hard to get into.
I'll need to revisit that one sometime. I had a copy and I wound up selling it.
Yeah, I think if you look at it as a soundtrack, you'll look at it a totally different way.
Exactly.
It's not one of their black metal albums. I mean, it's still kind of black metal, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got tons of black metal all over it. It's just one of the weirdest black metal albums you've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not concise or anything.
No, I mean, it's not as weird as something like Masartham or something, but
true. Yeah, Masartham. Yeah,
is
that the band with like the spacey, all the spacey elements and stuff? Or
yeah, like all their album covers are like NASA photo shots.
Yeah.
And then he mixes like
new age music. Yeah, electronic stuff.
Yeah, with this atmospheric black metal, it's really, really good.
I've been meaning to pick up an album from him, actually.
I've liked everything I've heard. I heard Canyon talk about it before, and that's what made me check it out. And
cool.
It's a great record. Definitely check out Masartham.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Absolutely. All right, so we're creeping up on that number one here, huh?
Yes, we are.
We're all well aware of where it was going to go.
Yeah.
This is my favorite metal album of all time.
Really?
I like this more than everything else.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this is my back patch on my jacket. I have a flag in my closet.
It's flawless. Let's just be honest. Flawless album.
One after another. Perfection all the way through.
Yeah.
It is just so good. I can vividly remember the first time hearing this. I went to a local flea market, and there was a guy who runs a record store who would bring his overstock to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he would bring it to the flea market, and he had
sick.
a box full of tapes, box full of CDs, and a whole big bunch of records. And I found all kinds of scores on tape.
So you basically bought this based off the cover, I'm assuming.
Yeah, based between that and I heard the name mentioned in the Cannibal Corpse documentary.
Oh yeah, Florida. Yeah,
they had
everyone loves Savatage in all those early death metal bands.
Mm-hmm.
They all love Savatage.
Exactly, and I heard that whole segment of like Savatage, where it's different like huge names in the Florida scene saying that. And that's like, all right, I guess I got to see what they're talking about since I love every one of these bands.
Of course.
And so I bought it off the strength of that, and I remember popping it in the tape deck of my dad's 97 Yukon and just driving home with that going on, and I hear what?
What did your dad think?
Oh, it was just me. I just
okay.
Car. But
okay.
He doesn't like metal at all. I put on, speaking of funny little side story,
yeah. Louis, stop. My sister's here to pick up my son. Come on, buddy.
Oh, sure.
So hear the doorbell or whatever.
For sure. But yeah, so one time I put a Panopticon album with my dad in the car, and he heard the double kicks, and he was like, I think there's something messed up with your tape. Because he'd never heard double kick drums before.
It sounds all clicky.
Yeah, so that's my dad's extent with metal. But the first track, dude, 24 hours ago came on. The awesome. Shrieking John's doing.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm going insane. Dude,
yeah.
This is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Right off the bat. Then you go to
this might be his craziest vocal performance on this album.
Oh yeah, and he has what is his weird thing with like going all the time randomly?
Which song is it where he does that for like a minute straight? Where he's like
Was that Beyond the Doors of the Dark?
It might be. I'm so bad with track names and stuff.
Yeah, I'm really bad with it too. Or was that 24 hours? It was one of those two songs.
It is 24 hours ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, actually. I knew it was one of those two, but yeah, he does it all over the thing.
Yeah, but it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's such a weird. It's like his signature thing in my eyes, like
yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's John Oliva. I always call him Olivia.
I know it's hard to say. It's a weird thing to say. Your brain wants to say it a different way.
Mm-hmm. But
hey, what's up, Steve? We got Steve in the house.
Oh, what up, Steve? Oh man, for sure. But yeah, dude, all these tracks on here, one after another, absolute killer. The price you pay is
filler again on this album.
Not even close. The price you pay has got a little bit of that hard rock kind of thing, like Strange Wings.
Yeah, because they've always been into that. You know, that's always been a part of their sound, whether you like it or not.
It definitely is. I mean, they put out the first demo in what was it, 83?
83, yeah.
That's early. I mean, that's like tail end of New Wave of British heavy metal. So
that's true.
Even those bands, what was the heaviest thing out of that? Venom. So
yeah.
And I don't think Venom. I don't know how much of an influence Venom would have been on something like this. Maybe to an extent.
Hard to say. I feel like most of the metal bands from those early '80s were huge into Venom. They might not have really shown it as an influence, but like I feel like they're one of those bands where you go back like all the early thrash bands, every single one of them worship Venom.
Deservedly so.
I wouldn't be surprised if Savatage were like Venom, but also like 70s hard rock,
Yeah, they were definitely listening to, like Vanilla Fudge and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure if you're putting out an album in 83 or 85 and you're well, this album was a little later though, but let's just say your debut album was from 83. Let's say you were 20 years old or even 15. That means you were born in the 60s.
Yeah.
So you grew up on, early hard rock, so yeah.
Speaking of when this came out, dude, that's the best year in metal history in my book.
87. Oh yeah? 87 is a fucking stellar year for metal.
Dude, think about it. You have this album, you have Nightfall by Candlemass, Them by King Diamond, Persecution.
What did Maiden have in 87? Did they have the Seventh Son, or was that
Son 88 or 87?
I think it's 88, huh?
I think it might have been. But 3 of my top 5 metal records of all time came out in 87.
That's a good point. It looks like Maiden didn't have an album in 87, 86 and 88. So yeah.
Yeah, 86 was somewhere in time, and then
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 87 was a good year because it was still rooted in like the earliest metal of, like 1980, 81, but it was also looking forward, to heavier stuff. So it was looking at like thrash, the heavy thrash that would come and stuff like that. Yeah.
First Death record.
Yeah. So it was like right in the middle of the eras,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. First Carcass demo.
Yes. This flesh ripping Sonic Torment.
Yeah, dude, seriously. 87 crazy.
That is the earliest example of that kind of music. I've tried to find stuff that sounds like that's pre 87. I've never seen it.
It like people kind of credit Repulsion to an extent. I get it, but like, dude, Carcass took that to the next thing for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that Repulsion album was super important too, but Carcass was just much dirtier and heavier and just sicker,
Yeah, they really took it and ran with it and amped it up like 5 notches for sure.
Yeah. Because I always forget that Repulsion had a demo in 86. So that's also pretty impressive. But I haven't heard the demo. I've only heard their album.
I think my copy of Horrified has the demo on the tail end.
Yeah, I remember repressing, might even I think they did a repressing that had a bonus disc of probably the demo. Yeah, Relapse in 2016. Yeah, bonus CD with a bunch of demo shit.
Oh, dude, yeah. So it was behind me. So mine has the 1984 Genocide rehearsal demo.
Oh
the
shit.
1985 Violent Death demo,
Yeah.
1986 Genocide WFBE demo, then the live in 86.
So everything probably that they ever did is probably on that.
Pretty much, dude. It's crazy. This is a great two-disc set.
Because they don't have a ton of material.
So, I completely forgot they were one and done with albums. Band.
Yeah.
Completely forgot it.
Yeah, which is really strange because it was pretty successful. Like it seemed. I mean, I was only 7, so it's not like I was there, but it seems from what it seems like it was in the underground. It was a pretty big deal for the time.
I would imagine. I mean, that's groundbreaking.
Yeah, but
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's my number 1 as well, obviously, Hall. One thing that I'll mention though is you ever think about track 5, Prelude to Madness? That's like the first TSO song, basically.
Yeah. Is that a Dusty Tchaikovsky?
Something like that. Some kind of classical stuff.
It's because it's like the intro to the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies.
Yeah. So for me, that was like, okay, they had probably been thinking about doing more stuff like this, at least back to 87.
Absolutely, for sure.
And you got to love the picture of the band photo on the inside, or band drawing or painting. Oh, you got to love that.
That is as 80s as it gets, and it's
look cool. At the chins, man.
That's chiseled physiques right there.
I'm getting some chin envy.
They look like Stan from American Dad.
Yeah, all 4 of them.
Is that airbrushed?
It might be.
It looks airbrushed. I love that they're like coming out of lightning, out of like whatever that chalice is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, who came up with this idea? That needs to be painted like on a van or something somewhere.
I'd buy the crap out of that van.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, this album is I don't think this album will ever go down to number 2 or even 3, or I think it'll always be at the top for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see how. I mean, even though both of us are saying like some of these albums they keep rising, but I think they're only going to go so far,
Yeah, there's a threshold that can't be crossed when it comes to this one for me.
And even though I can recognize, I don't know, maybe like Streets is such a well-written album, but I can say that an album might be better, but that doesn't mean that I like it more, So exactly. I think it's cemented at number 1. Although I will admit, I think there's been times where Dungeons almost creeped up into my number 1, but I can't do it.
It's definitely close in quality, I'd say.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I would say also though, like the only way that I think Dungeons could never top this is like the songwriting here is so good. It's like they took their songwriting to like multiple levels above Dungeons. So I think Dungeons it's awesome, but the songwriting on this is just like they were starting to kind of get more epic and progressive and stuff. But
yeah, exactly. It's so it really, really does bring that atmosphere to it. Like Dungeon has a little bit of that epicness, but dude, this one
totally.
You don't beat.
I mean, just the title track here, there's so much going on in that song.
Oh,
it's almost like a story within a story. There's so many different movements, and like it might just sound like another heavy metal song, but if you pay attention, there's so many. I mean, their songwriting skills were already really sharp. There's so much going on, so many like time changes and stuff, but yet it's like a concise. I wouldn't really call it prog metal, but it kind of is in a way,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is to an extent. Between that and like the classical song leading into it.
Yeah.
But dude, that main riff in that song.
Oh yeah. Did you ever see the video for that song?
That is great.
It's a crazy video.
That is a great video.
The dwarf and stuff, and like, oh my god. I don't know. Oh, I didn't really think about this. We're talking about the chalice on there. I think it's the same chalices that the king is doing stuff with on the cover.
Oh wow.
So I think he created Savatage. They were created by this king.
So we have king to thank for this wonderful thing here.
He just created them. He's like, I want to create the perfect heavy metal band.
He did it real well, didn't he?
And he conjured them. Yeah.
Did you notice the little jester in the bottom corner of the album cover?
Oh shit, I never did.
That was the first time I've ever noticed that, ever.
Oh my God. Well, how did I not?
I have no idea.
I mean, he is kind of hiding, but he's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I wonder if that like ties into one of these songs here.
When I was a kid, I've always like a huge like fantasy nerd. So yeah, when I saw this cover, I had never heard the band, but this is one of those covers where I saw it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm buying that.
Oh yeah, dude.
This is clearly some kind of Lord of the Rings metal. I'm all about this, you know.
Oh yeah, this could have been the cover on an RPG game for sure.
Yeah. So I definitely bought this one just based on the cover, and obviously never regretted it.
I think it's impossible to regret that one.
Yeah, I would really love to see them at least crank out one more album at some point.
I'm intrigued to see if it would ever happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Last I heard, I will say, I was talking about the legal trouble John was in. It sucks because right before that, I remember seeing Chris Caffrey on YouTube, and he was talking about him and John were starting to get together to write more music.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's been fucked up now. I hope not. I hope I would love to see them at least one last album, if not maybe a few more. But
it would be wonderful, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
This has been quite the break if they plan on coming back.
Because they have TSO, that's like their paycheck. So they can do a Savatage album without having to take any risks.
Yeah, and TSO isn't touring year round.
No. Yeah, that's like I don't know how long they tour for, probably just like maybe December, maybe November, December, something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it couldn't go much past like early January.
And did you hear about how they this is kind of crazy. They have a system for TSO. They split it up into two sections. They have East Coast and West Coast, and they're different lineups.
Really?
They might not be 100% different lineups, but there's several different. They're slightly different lineups. Like they usually use Russell Allen from Symphony X. Like he'll be on he'll be on the East Coast since he lives over in New Jersey.
Okay.
I think that'd be sick to see TSO with Russell Allen.
That would be wild, Joe. I didn't know.
And also last year they've been known to also they'll put like a Savatage song or two into their lineup. Last year I heard they put an extra Savatage song into the set list.
What do they usually play? Is it like classic era Savatage or like later Savatage?
It's later. I think it's like Dead Winter Dead type stuff, or they might have played something from Gutter Ballet one time though.
Interesting.
I'll ask my buddy Chris and I'll text you and let you know. But
yeah, I would go crazy, dude, if I saw them and they started playing like Hall of the Mountain King or something.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, that would be sick.
I feel like it would definitely stand out in the set. I don't think that would fit the feel for the night.
Probably not, but they know the fans would love it though.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I wonder how many people actually that are attending that show even know who Savatage is.
Honestly, a lot of them, I'd be willing to bet at least half of them have no idea.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Because I've heard just because of how cool the show is, they draw all kinds of people aren't even into metal at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's like a shitload of old people. Old people love TSO. That's another reason why I avoided them, because I was like, oh, why would I be into that? You know, like I'm not 80.
Yeah, it's hard to pull out a Christmas album in March or whatever. So
yeah. But I have no problem. Like I listen to that TSO album that I have just whenever I feel like it. Like I don't think I've ever even played it in the month of December. I just play it when I want to.
Exactly. Sometimes the mood just hits you.
Yeah.
Play me on with clean vocals. Man, Pie Face, how do you do that? Nothing with clean vocals?
Wow. I mean, I get it. I probably went through phases where all I listened to was death metal or black metal. I've definitely done that, but usually not too long of a phase. We're talking maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah. See, that's kind of hard to do for me because like my main musical venture is playing like folk and bluegrass.
Yeah.
So I hear that stuff all the time. It's what my wife listens to, and I listen to a lot of it too. But
yeah, I like some of that stuff. It's a hard sell for me, but I slowly kind of am more open to that, to like folk music and stuff.
Yeah.
Scott says, I'm not sure the soccer moms in the audience would appreciate Hall of the Mountain King. Yeah, that's exactly it. But still, they could probably alter it a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd soften it up a bit.
Yeah, make it more symphonic sounding, and
I could see some like orchestra hits and then the dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, dun, dun. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, they could totally do it, and yeah, just so many people in the crowd would just not even know. But that's
They'd have no.
fine by me.
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever do they ever. I'm sure they play Chicago.
They might. I'm sure they've been here a million times.
Maybe not at Reggie's, but
probably more like one of the big centers.
Yeah,
I would imagine they're
you should try to go. Maybe.
I think that'd be a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I prefer to go to Milwaukee a lot.
Mm.
But for like every 10 tours, maybe 2 of them go to Milwaukee, but all of them go to Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago seems to be much more of a popular metal town.
Like, yeah. Except that Merciful Fate tour. Dude.
Oh, yeah. That went to Milwaukee, right?
They didn't go to Milwaukee or Chicago.
Oh, shit. Oh, they went to Michigan, right?
Yeah, they went to Michigan. The closer one for me is Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Have you ever been to Indiana?
No, I have not.
Imagine the physical manifestation of depression. That is Gary, Indiana.
Oh, shit.
Why are they playing there? Chicago is 25 minutes north.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. You'd think you'd want to play the more densely populated areas.
Yeah, it really, really boggled my mind when I was like, I have to drive all the way to Indiana to go see this.
There's got to be a reason for that. There had to have been some kind of data or something that made, because their management maps this shit out. Who knows? Maybe they liked the venue more. Who knows?
Yeah, they played at a casino.
Okay. Yeah, we have a casino here too that gets shows constantly. Like they get Queensryche and stuff like that.
Have you seen Queensryche?
I've only seen him one time, but it was back when Jeff Tate was still in the band. Okay. I'm only 5 hours from Seattle, so they come here on pretty much every tour they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they like to play. They have a pretty decent fan base here, so they always they make sure to always play. Because I'm like 20 minutes from the Washington border.
Oh, okay. So that's something you could definitely.
So when I say here, it's actually Washington.
Yeah.
Here in my town, we don't get concerts. We don't even have a venue or anything. So.
Oh, really? Not one?
No, we've had some bands play like little coffee shops, but it's rare. It's not like I saw Blood Incantation here one time.
That's different. They get stopping a show.
Yeah. They played in like a bar. It was pretty cool.
That is really, really cool. I haven't seen them yet.
They're good live.
They look like it. Every video I watch looks amazing.
Yeah, they take it pretty serious. Yeah, it's like a no bullshit live set, definitely.
I appreciate that in a band sometimes, but then I like, sometimes I like the theatrical nerdiness.
Me too. I could go one way or the other, like.
Yeah. Like when I saw Mulder a couple months ago.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they introduced their final song, pretending like they were gonna play Piranha by Exodus.
Oh, the riff, that Piranha riff.
No, he did this ain't about no tuna fish. He did that trout thing. And then he's like, it sure ain't about no trout and it ain't about a piranha. This is our song. And then they started playing it. And I was like, oh, you guys teased me.
That's a nice touch. That I can appreciate. That's a very death metal move right there, I think.
Oh, yeah. Dude, if you ever get the chance to see them, they throw down live.
I need to get their album, actually. I've heard a lot of good things.
It's really, really good. I'm a hype avoider. Yeah. I'm a hype avoider.
Me too. Yeah.
But I fell for it hard, dude. Seeing them live sold it to me for sure.
Yeah. What I do with hype is like I'll just wait a little bit because I'm never in a hurry. I always have plenty of stuff to listen to. I'll wait sometimes I'll even wait a year and then I'll check it out because by then no one's talking about it. It's not fresh in my mind. So that's what I did with Blood Incantation. And I think that's a band that lives up to every bit of the hype.
Personally. They really, really do. They are just, I don't know if I'd call them one of a kind, but there's no modern band that sounds like that.
That's exactly it. I've said the same thing. Yeah, everyone's trying to sound like Incantation or Entombed, and they don't sound like either of those. So
no, they sound like obscure European death metal.
Yeah, maybe a little Morbid Angel, a little bit of like later Death, maybe. And then Time Go Finish stuff, obviously, Demolition, stuff like that.
Absolutely, they really do. What's that? Depravity. I always thought they had a similar atmosphere to Blood Incantation.
That's a good point. I haven't heard that Depravity album in a long time. I actually don't own it, but I've listened to it on YouTube like many times. I need to get a copy of that.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been able to actually get a hold of a copy. It's kind of hard.
It's probably impossible to get. That must need a repress then.
Oh, absolutely.
I always assume everything gets repressed, but it doesn't always. It's not always the case.
And get to make fun of Indiana. Yeah, that's hilarious, dude. Everybody's making fun of Indiana. Even Ohio gets to make fun of Indiana.
Oh my god. Even Ohio, even Michigan.
And Illinois can't say much.
Probably Milwaukee even, which that's probably a stretch.
Yeah. Poor Indiana.
Yeah. God, I don't think I'd ever have a reason to go to Indiana. I mean, I'm not against the idea. No offense if there's any Indiana-ins out there.
No, all the people are great. It's just kind of gross to go through Gary.
Is it?
It's the number one manufacturer of trailers in the country.
Oh, so it's like a very industrial town?
The whole place, yeah. The whole state is basically like that.
Okay. Hey, at least there's a lot of steady work, for people that need it.
They keep busy for sure. Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, not the job I'd want, but hey, yeah, a job's a job.
Yeah. That's rough.
I'm not into building shit, but hey, if I lived in Gary, as long as I got to see Merciful Fate, I'll build trailers.
Yep. It's almost worth it.
Yeah. But anyways, man, I got to go take Louie out to go to the bathroom. So this was a lot of fun. It was stressful because it's such a band that's so important to me. I was just nervous about talking about these albums.
Absolutely. It was tough.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll have to do it again sometime. Come up with some other ideas.
I'm all about it for sure. We'll talk this one over. I'll see you soon on this on the stream, hopefully.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for doing this.
Dude, thanks for having me. I've always wanted to do one of these.
I know. I didn't realize that until you said. I was like, oh, okay. I just always assumed that it was just something that maybe I don't know, maybe you didn't want to do.
No, I've always wanted to. I just never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
And
all right, dude.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I'll catch you later. See you, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone for watching. We'll talk to you all later.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
See ya.
See ya.